Hey, hold on a minute, real quick. All right. Let's go. Oh, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Here we go. What's up? All right, here we go. All right. Hey, what's up, everybody? What's going on, man? Are we crispy? We good? The levels is good? We are live. We are live. So what's going on, chat? How's everybody doing? We crispy? Y'all can hear me? I want to make sure everything's good. The levels is good. The audio's good. I know, I think like the last previous podcast with the group, I guess my voice was really loud versus the panel members. They should be showing up soon. Hopefully they show up soon. You know what I'm saying? But we are live. Hold on. As always, if you don't mind hitting the like button and tweeting this out, we truly appreciate it. Let's do our thing. We're gonna have a good show, of course, as always. You know, I really love you guys because right now my Yankees are playing, but I owe you this show. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have a podcast the last 2 weeks, so we're gonna do it. You know, let me send out this tweet. Make sure that everybody knows we're live. We are live. We are live. Come through. Boom. Let me see. Hold on. Let me see something. All right. So Craig's going to be here in about 15 minutes. I gotta look at the date. I gotta look at something. Let me look at something. All right. Here we go. Sorry about that. Anyway, love you guys. Just to let you know, I got mad love for y'all. Because my Yankees are playing, we're in the playoffs. But I'm here with you. Y'all have no idea. You have no idea what I'm sacrificing right now. Okay? My New York Yankees in the playoffs. But that's how highly I think of you all. Alright? I'm going to let you know right now. I love you guys. Plus, I do want to talk about gaming. But, I might slip in out and disappear for a bit, let the panel members.
Hey man, put that that picture up. P-Rock, come on, man.
Oh shit! Oh shit! You can't see me?
Oh, I can see you. I'm saying if you want to watch the game and do the podcast.
Oh shit! This is killing me, bro. I'm like, man, my Yankees up here. But you know what? I got mad love for you, Craig, Colby, all of y'all. You know what I'm saying? Because we gamers here. So gamers got a special, gamers who play games. I got to make that caveat. Because I know there's a lot of different versions of gamers. Like, you got gamers who don't game. You got gamers who don't even own consoles or gaming products. You got gamers who watch other people. Like, the term gamer has a new definition now. I used to think gamers were people who play games, but that's not how it is right now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you just watch YouTube, you're a gamer now, apparently. You know what I'm saying? So, me, I got special love for gamers who game. The rest of y'all, yeah, I'm not inclusive. I gatekeep. Alright? You know what I'm saying? Oh shit, what's up,
yeah, gamer, the definition of a gamer has definitely changed, man. You don't necessarily have to play games. All you have to do is have a charismatic opinion. And people will rock. Yo, you can say the dumbest shit in the world as long as it sounds good.
Just sell some shit. You could just sell some shit, and you could literally say, I don't even like Xbox games, but you could still be considered an Xbox gamer, but play no Xbox games, like none. You just gotta say nice shit about the company, or like buy the fridge. Like you could buy the Xbox fridge and you're an Xbox gamer, I guess. Or you buy the Paul George sneakers and you're a PlayStation gamer, because apparently that's how it is now. It ain't about actually playing the game. Yo, it's crazy, bro. Yo, it's crazy. This is Bari. We seen console war like all throughout last gen. You seen it also. We seen it on YouTube during the PS3 gen. When Broken Games, Black Baron and them and the crew, whatever, they were just up and coming. Brand new to the shit talking. But I never seen no shit that we going through now, man. None of this even makes sense.
Right.
Like bro.
Like I've been telling people since I pretty much started this channel, man, that gaming is no longer gaming. It's more politics. That's why I started mentioning like gaming politics. Did my console or gaming politician skits and all that stuff to make fun of it, just to make it entertaining. But at the end of the day, it's something that's real and it's more prevalent now than ever. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, when we was console warring back in the day, 2016, all that stuff, at least those people, you can tell they kind of play the game. You know what I mean? So some of them. This new age of people coming in here into the gaming community, these motherfuckers don't play shit. And I don't understand like how are some of these people getting a following or even people listening to them, because there's many people where I just go on their profile and everything they say, they love gaming. Oh man, they make it seem like it's so dramatic when they talk about gaming. Like, oh man, the good old day. Oh man, I just love propping a bear and pressing my Xbox button. And then when you scroll in their Twitter, when you scroll in their YouTube, you don't see not one lick of gaming, bro.
Or you simply can ask them for the gamer tag. And
oh no, that triggers them.
That's like, why you stalking? I'm like, bro, it's a gamer tag. Like,
I had somebody
you out here posting your job, you showing, you giving your first name,
family pics,
your link to Facebook, and nothing. That's all okay. But I asked for a gamer tag. Oh, you stalking? I ain't dealing with weirdos. Like, bro, you just like gave your whole first name and your Facebook account. Like, what the fuck is you talking about?
Yo, I had somebody. He said, because some people believe this whole lie about the reason why I canceled Call of Duty, because these dumb bots try to put out like, I make some lie off of a joke that I made on Twitter, right? And here this dude is like, he said something about Call of Duty. So I asked him, I said, so post your stats. Because you said you called him like a fraud or something. I
saw that, yeah.
I said, post your stats.
Because they released stats.
Get your hell out of there.
Yeah, the Call of Duty actually released stats of why each player and how much time they played.
In the beta,
So they got it. I told you, bro, like, yo, I never thought gamertag PSN ID would be critical to calling out frauds. I don't understand why you want to be a fraud in gaming, especially when you don't have to. Like, you don't even have to be good in gaming. You could completely suck at games. But if you play them, it is what it is. You're playing the games, yeah, you just suck at it, but you playing them. Like, it's just really just play it. And these dudes hardly play anything, if anything at all, but they want to talk and be part of the conversation. Like they go hard in it. Like, I don't get, why would you want to involve yourself in a conversation on something you don't do? That's like me, like, talking to all the NHL hockey guys on Twitter when I don't even watch hockey. I don't even like the goddamn sport, but I want to be all up in it and talk shit that probably don't make any sense because I don't watch the sport. Why would I want to do that? Why do I want to talk hockey? Like, why do I want to bother people or troll, hockey fans on Twitter? Like, that make no sense. I don't watch it. I don't care for it. I let that shit be for the people who actually do watch it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it make no sense. Like, y'all dudes don't really play games. Why do you even care about what people are talking about on something you don't even involve yourself in? Like, you don't do it. Like, what the hell is going on in this? Yo, it's crazy, bro. Everybody here? Y'all heard me? Hello?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Project Cloud, what's going on? It's been a minute.
I know, right? It's just, week after week, it's just something changes, right?
Yeah, man. Life goes. You got to adapt, overcome, but I'm glad we're here. You know what I'm saying? I'm feeling the chat. Hey, shout out to Grizzly Bear King with a $10 super chat. He says, can't stay long, so I'll drop this here and leave. Even with all the remakes, no other publisher has more new IPs in the last 15 years than Sony. They're actually undisputed. It's not even close. It's funny because when the remakes, we'll do, you know what? Well, let's warm up so I can get your guys' opinion. Excuse me. Let's warm up the podcast with the rumor of Horizon Zero Dawn remake. We'll start. Project, I haven't heard from you in a minute. How do you feel about that? Like, what's your opinion with potentially a Horizon Zero Dawn remake for the PlayStation 5 and supposedly multiplayer is included? And how does that, do you have concern, not necessarily in the game itself, but like PlayStation giving up resources to do this, or, anything about that? What's your feeling about that rumor?
Yeah, so I mean, the article that came out that was saying things about the remake and some other Horizon stuff, I'm pretty sure it talked about how there's the remake and then there's separate multiplayer game or games that are coming too.
Yeah.
Plus, you have the VR Call of the Mountain that's coming, probably early next year with the launch of PSVR 2. So personally, look, when I read that news, I got a little bit excited.
Oh, so you would like a remake? You would like a PS5?
Yes, I would.
Oh, shit.
I would.
You say, hey, I just want to say this. So it's his fault we're getting these remakes not played. Blame Project, all right? Hey, you're going to have to be the leader of this band. You're going to have to tell everybody, blame me. I want it. No, but I'm just joking. But what's going on? So what makes you excited about... Here, you know what? I'm glad this is going in the direction, Guriz. All right, so you have Horizon Zero Dawn, the PS4 version. It has a 60 FPS patch and all that stuff. But what makes you excited about a remake of this game? Because I want to hear the positive side. I want to see what you want out of this. Because really, this is really for you. But you're not alone in this. I guarantee there's millions of people that will buy it day one. Hell, if they do like a $99 bundle, they're going after this special edition bundle with statue and, I don't know, maybe alloy, or, a sample of Alloy's pubic hair. I don't know what Sony decides to put in this bundle. But for you, though, what are you excited about this rumor? What gets you excited about this?
Did I get to give up $70? No.
Hey, that's it. Support the developers. Support the devs. There you go. It's all about the $70. But seriously, so what if with your idea of hearing remake, what are you thinking that this remake is gonna be that makes you excited? What gets you excited?
Can I just be honest with you?
Yeah, just be honest.
What a remake is to me? It's all about them graphics.
So you want the bells? You want the game bells and whistles at its best.
Yep.
You don't want to you don't want to update 60F patch with a game that looks good. No, you want that new next generation touch. Okay, I can respect that. I mean, that's why you bought a PS5 for, right? For PS5.
Exactly. And you know what? For me, because I already bought the complete edition a while back. I think about a year or so within that coming out. Yeah. Horizon is one of those games where I unfortunately got stuck at a dumb part because due to a glitch / bug in the game. So I just kind of quit playing it at that part, not because it wasn't interesting, but just because it's like, I got so far in the game and I feel like I have to restart far back.
Game breaking bug.
So like, yeah.
I know,
so like,
I hate that.
If you give me a remake, this is a great excuse to actually go back into that world, and then I'll finish that, and then probably go on to Forbidden West, which I haven't got around to playing. So, so yeah, this is a better way for me to spend more money and be more visually dazzled at what I see.
Especially that $70, because we gotta,
exactly.
we gotta give up these $70 as fast as possible, because apparently, that's the new exclusive PlayStation loves, $70 games.
Yep.
All right. Okay. Cool. Jabari, give me your thoughts on this. I know it's a rumor. But do you have concerns? Are you cool with this? Is it indifferent? Are you looking forward to it? Like you day one ready to platinum? What's going on, brother?
Yeah, I mean, I just like The Last of Us Part 1 remake. I feel like it's not necessarily needed, but I understand why, if this is true, they would do it. And one of the big things that I've always said for a minute now, especially with the PS5 coming out, is that they should have an updated version for all those games, especially the ones that went to PC, because you're going into it where people just bought into a PS5 and it's like, oh, I'm playing a PS4 version of this game. Meanwhile, on the PC side of things, they got the best version of the game. You know what I mean? I just feel like you should always try to upgrade those games on the PS5, whether that's a patch update or a remake or remaster, whatever it is. Do I necessarily think it needs to happen? No, but I just think that would be a good and smart move that PlayStation would do that. Also, I don't really have an issue with it, to be honest with you. Okay. Because if they do a remake, obviously I'll buy it because I love that game. I love Zero Dawn. And I understand their pretty much their mindset behind streamlining the look of the game, especially if they're trying to brand off in movies and TV shows. That's the same concept that they had with The Last of Us. They're pretty much okay, we did a remaster in 2014, but we want to streamline the look of the game, and just the animations and things like that. So when people do get into The Last of Us by watching a TV show, they can be like, oh, this game looks on par with part 2, or part 2 looks on par with part, you know what I mean? It's a streamlined process. And I think that's where they're going again with, Zero Dawn. But do I necessarily need it? No, I don't. I don't need it. But I just think it's a cool idea. And if it's not hurting, right? PlayStation bought all these studios to help out. Look at God of War going. I know we're going to talk about that. You see the studio list that they did, with helping that game. You know what I mean? I feel like a lot of people, they say things like, "Oh, I don't have an issue with PlayStation putting their games on PC or doing mobile because they got the studios to help out with that stuff. They're not really, using any of those major studios to really do that." Same concept can apply here with these remakes. You know what I mean? Yeah. Just one game itself, you got 7 developers helping to get that thing out.
Blue Point Games. Hello.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, but why not bring back an older game, an older franchise, like Sly Cooper or Jack? Why not remake those?
Because Alloy's more sexy. Because Alloy's sexy. That's why.
It's more.
It's all about the sex. Nah, I don't know. Listen, I'll be honest. No, I agree with you. Call me Jay. Because I'll get that too. There's in my opinion, I think, and again, this is just an opinion from a gamer's perspective. I think right now, for remakes, the games that really need remakes, and I think, in my opinion, there are certain games that came out. I'll use PS3 for example. There are games that came out during the PS3 gen that were ahead of its time for the PS3, and it wasn't set up for success. In my opinion, let's say I'll use Resistance.
Mag.
Mag, even better. I personally believe Mag, or remake, built from the ground up on the PlayStation 5 will be more successful than what it was for the PS3. I think because of Sony's seriousness in upgrading the network, it could probably handle more players, the graphics. I mean, the game was running at 30 frames on the PS3. It wasn't locked 60. So now the ability of actually running the game at a smooth 60 frames and they could take that game in a bigger direction. I think that game would be more successful now than what it potentially could have. I don't think it had the chance to truly be successful during the PS3 era. It just was ahead of its time. The wrong console, wrong network. A lot of people, it was still in that phase of PlayStation 3. Like, what the hell you doing, Sony? It was like, it was all set up for failure. Like, the whole ecosystem environment, everything was just, it was just not the right time for Mag. That period was not the right time for Mag to come out. Now, I think, in my opinion, especially with the money transactions, because that game, because remember, you had 3 different factions. You had like the grunge guys, the corporate guys, and the professional military, right? The amount of cosmetics you could excuse my language, you could release in that game would be insane. To give each of the factions their unique identity and stuff like that, I'm telling you, Mag was literally 2 gens ahead of his time. And because
I agree.
I agree.
If they would have supported Mag to PS4, it would have blown up.
It would have been much better. But right now, I think this is the gen I think Mag would truly be successful. I think, with the power of the PS5, PlayStation's network, and how just gamers love money transactions and just buying unique content to make their factions and themselves look different. Because you literally had unique, everybody who didn't play Mag?
I did not play Mag.
So
I played it.
I played it. So Mag, and correct me if I'm wrong.
I played it
because it's Jay Barry. So correct me if I'm wrong. If I remember, because it's been a while. You had 3 factions, right? You had the grunge guys. Those are the guys that you built your military with, like junk of the mill weapons, AK-47s, cars, and trash cans. They would just makeshift shit, right? Then you had the regular military faction, which is the standard military outfit, and then the third faction was the corporate mercenary guys. They were all unique in weapons, look, uniforms. It was like a completely different way of fighting with each 3 factions and shit like that. So imagine the cosmetics and money transactions that people would just go crazy over. It would be insane.
You're just talking about numbers, about making money, but the game itself is very unique. There's no game like it that has come out to make a similar game. It's a whole unique game. So there's no game like it.
So correct me if I'm wrong.
Mag was definitely before its time because it was even using like social media. Like you could connect your Facebook account and all that in there. I was just like, nobody was like, what the hell is going on with this game, boy?
PS3 had that browser. PS3 remember had a browser on it. I do remember that. So like an internet browser.
Yeah. And correct me if I'm wrong. Each of the factions had like a different feel to the guns.
They all played differently.
The factions was
it wasn't just like the same military guys. Just cosmetically looks different. No, they felt different when you shooting the weapons.
They all had different weapons. They all looked different. They all had different hitboxes. They all did different things differently. So you read the description and you would pick which faction you want to be a part of.
They had advantages.
That's your play style.
Yeah, they had advantages and disadvantages. It was really like if you play with a different faction, they felt different. And I
used to be the high tech dudes and the regular modern military dudes. I forgot the names of the factions, but I remember picking the high tech and the regular ones. I ran with that.
The thing is that the game was basically SOCOM, but in a massive multiplayer because there was multiple squad leaders, and then they all had their own troops inside of those. So the squad leads would talk to each other, and they would form a plan, and then they would execute it. So it was crazy. When I saw it, I was like, I can't believe this is running on a PlayStation.
Yeah, and it's a PS3. I'm like, yo.
Yeah. Well, it'll come back. They'll bring that back.
I hope so.
With the gunplay. And you could with the controller down, imagine one faction the gun will be different, it'll feel different.
With the dual sense.
You may not handle it as well. Yeah, you have a lot of opportunities there. So it's stuff like that will come back.
It definitely needs a remake because that gunplay was kind of pooty. It was kind of shit way back in the PS3.
Yeah, it was basic. It was basic.
And it was 30 frames. And the game was 30 frames.
Yeah.
It was 30 frames.
The control layout was so weird.
Forza's 30 frames. It's next gen.
No, but what I mean is, for FPS, you're playing you play Call of Duty on PS3, and then you play Mag. World of difference in smoothness.
Hold on, Sim is 30 frames. It's next gen.
Who?
Flight Sim's 30 frames. It's next gen.
No, you're not.
What's a flight sim? What is that?
You're not understanding me, Craig. What we need is.
I understand you. I'm just being facetious.
Craig, you're not getting it. No, what I'm saying is FPS can't play at 30. Clips. We can't have that. That's another thing that was bad. 60 frames FPS. That's woo.
It's gonna come back.
But
games like that. Shout out to Hip Hop Gamer. He said a year ago that this is the generation of remasters and remake, and he does talk to people in the industry, so I would behoove people to listen to him before you listen to anybody else.
I know.
Speaking of remakes, I was going to play Devil's Advocate because you guys were talking about Horizon Zero Dawn being remade, a rumor. And I was going to play Devil's Advocate and say, why not remake an older game? But if you really think about it, it's like us that have been playing since the PS1 or even before, we know about MAG, we know about these old ass games that should have a remake. But majority of people, do they really know about it?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Look at Horizon Zero Dawn. It sold 20 million. Like what first party game before that sold 20 million? Other than maybe, I don't even think Gran Turismo ever sold 20 million. Any of them.
It's more relevant.
I think the most was like 16 million, which is
Well, that's a new IP too.
Yeah, I
hope they bring it back. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I do hope they bring it back.
I do.
Just to hear the fanboys scream, "Why are you doing this?" And I like that kind of stuff. That gives me a little chub. So, but yeah, I hope they bring it back. High graphic settings, 60 and 120 FPS modes. But it's a rumor though. It's a rumor.
Okay.
But yeah, I like hearing the fanboys holler.
Okay. Me personally, I didn't have a problem. Like I still say, I'm like with Jay Barry, I think I'm in line with Call Me Jay and everybody else. I would like to see PS3 or older games get full remakes because I think some games. Another one is Heavenly Sword. I think that game really needs a remake. That game is amazing, but again, it's just that some games was just ahead of the PS3's time. Some games was perfect. Some games were great and ran. Like God of War 3 was phenomenal. Uncharted was phenomenal, great. But I think other games is like, this game should have waited for another gen to really be at its best, right? But the reason why I don't really have a problem with this is because the only time I will have a problem with remakes if I notice Sony ain't producing new content. And at this point, no one can really argue that point because, in my opinion, aligning first 2 years with PlayStation's other first 2 years, they're doing phenomenal releasing games. And I'm talking about outside of the remasters. You understand? So I can't really complain about Sony making remasters when technically, even with the remasters, they're still bringing out more games than they did during generations where they made little to no remasters. Yet they still barely came out with none. It took them a while to really get in the groove of things. You guys know what I mean?
Yeah, good point.
So I can't really complain when Sony's probably doing better than it's ever done within the first 2 years, right? What blows my mind though is Xbox guys, complaining. And I'm gonna tell you why. If I was an Xbox dude, right? I would just keep my mouth shut on any PlayStation remake or remaster. I wouldn't have an opinion because the way I would look at it, I would be like, all right, Sony's making all these remakes, but they're still coming out with new games. Unlike the brand I'm rocking, they're not giving me anything. I mean, fuck, I could use a Crimson Sky remake right now. Give me something. Like I get no new games, I get no remakes, but I get every time I log on Twitter, I'm seeing people talking about Activision fucking acquisition. Like, so I would be like, you know what? When it comes to the conversation of games, I'm gonna just sit one out. I'm not gonna talk shit about PlayStation remakes because even with the remakes, they're still pushing more games than what Microsoft is, and Microsoft's not really doing. They're not like. It's not like Microsoft is pushing remakes. Like nothing. They're like doing nothing. So I would just be like, you know what? I can't really throw stones in a glass house at this point in time. I'm going to just leave it alone. I'll let y'all have that.
Can you imagine if they get a Quantum Break remake?
Oh, shit.
A Run remake?
Oh, shit.
Mm-hmm. Whatever remake or remaster Xbox will get currently right now, these dudes were celebrated like Jesus Christ just came back. These guys are full of it, man. You know what I mean? They know they're starving with games. Remember that rumor that came out saying that they're gonna remake Gears of War 2 or something like that, like they did with 1. These dudes going crazy. It's like, yeah, this would be great for Microsoft to do this and this and that. They full of it, man.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So like, when I see the Xbox guys complain about this, I'm like, this ain't genuine. Because again, if I was in your shoes, I would actually see things as, how the hell does Sony have time to make all these remakes and still release games while I'm here playing Peppa Pig? Like, nah, something like I can't be talking trash when even with the remakes
in 4K.
Like, yeah,
Peppa Pig's in 4K.
Shit, here we go, Craig.
So,
playing Screwdriver Simulator.
Oh snap!
Yeah, power washing simulator. Wash a deck.
That out. All right, hey. So first main topic, I want to talk about Dead Space coming out remake. $70.
Yeah.
Except on PC. So PC Master Race wins again. My question, and I'll start with Jay Bari, or we go down the line. Who's interested in this game? And have you noticed this game did not get how can I put it? Did not get the spice being priced at $70. I don't know how to describe it, but it wasn't. There was no spice. It was very bland.
That's fair.
There was no spice to Dead Space. For some reason, it was very chill. It was very quiet. All quiet on the Western Front. There was no spice. There was no hint of, animosity. So I wonder if everyone else noticed that. But we'll start with Jay Barry. Yo, you interested in this game? Because I would say Callisto Protocol comes out in December. So you got Callisto Protocol, then you got this. So I'm thinking, wait a minute, this is like, button heads. But anyway, what you think, Jay Barry? You copy? Oh
yeah, I definitely noticed it. I made a tweet about it, about the whole $70, and now people like your remakes.
There was no spice. It was like
they try to come at me. They was like, "Shut up, Pony! You can't see a pre-order for COD." You know what I mean? They didn't have no answer. P-Rod. They was going a different topic.
Hey, like now there's an understanding. Now people are telling me, "Oh, Porter, you ain't gotta buy it. You can wait for a price drop." And I'm like, bro, you not preaching to the choir. You preaching to the goddamn cardinal. I've been told people that. Now in October 2022, we want to push you can wait for a price drop. Y'all realize that shit now? But anyway, so how about you copy this? Because I remember when I heard on your podcast, Jay Barry, that you said that there was an elevator scene, and you said, "Yep, I'm done. I'm not playing this."
Yeah,
you were like, "Oh, hell no." Nah.
I never played Dead Space. Like I played the demo for the PS3. And that it was like an elevated scene, and it was like the crawly things.
Yeah.
And I had like 5 bullets. I was like, oh nah. We good off that. But
guess what?
Every video that I'm seeing my man busting heads. He going in. Like I see my man got like a machine gun type of cutter.
Oh, that was in there though. That was in there. Oh, that was in there.
Yeah, like it looks more interesting to be honest.
Jay Barry, you're gonna get this game. You're gonna like 10 years ago you were a child. So I understand, but you're a grown-ass man right now. So you're going to come back, you're going to conquer your fears, and you're going to be up in there. You're going to be up there stopping some shit. You're going to get your platinum, and you're going to add that victory trophy.
Yo, listen, I pre-ordered Callisto Protocol, so you know what I mean. I'm going in with Dead Space, man.
We're going to be up in there, man. You know what I'm saying? Shit, I wish they had that shit in VR. I'll be walking around and shit like that.
Nah, I can't do VR. Listen,
I would do it.
Have you ever played The Impatient in VR?
The Impatient, I beat it.
All right, you know what? Yo, I bow down to you, bro.
Listen, man. Listen. Let me tell you something, bro. I'm that dude that, if there's a scary dude in the corner and I got nowhere to go, I just run and fight then. I'm like, fuck it. If I'm going to die, I'm taking you with me. We ain't going out. They can't put me in a horror movie because wait a minute. The victim and the killer died in the first 10 minutes.
Bust it, right?
Fuck this.
Bust it, right? You played Impatient, you beat it. You remember that scene when you first walk in the hallway and they made you look back and you see the little thing crawl? Yo, I was live streaming that game, bro, and I stopped the stream right there. I said, nope. You guys have a good night.
And I beat Resident Evil 7 in VR.
Oh,
I'm telling you, I'm about that life. I'm about that life. I'm that dude. Maybe I don't know. Maybe being a Marines kind of like fuck me up in the head. I need that VA claim. I need them VA claims. Maybe what I'm saying. But
your blood ice cold, bro.
I'm in there,
his spirit animal is the Punisher. He doesn't fear nothing.
Man, I don't know. Exactly. Listen, and he was a Marine too.
The man said he
Punisher was a Marine too. So we're kind of
right
like
there. Mad respect right there.
Yeah,
that
I'd be
game
impatient.
is scary
I loved it.
as hell,
I
bro.
loved it, man. I loved it. I even played. I played Rush of Blood. Beat that.
Oh, the Until Dawn one.
Yeah, and
that was actually fun. That was
fun. That was fun. That was pretty good. And then I also recently bought, because I'm gonna try it, is Exorcist.
Oh nah, CG Rocks, yeah.
I bought that one.
Yeah, he bought that life for real.
I bought Exorcist. You know, I didn't even care about the Metacritic score, because I saw it. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna do it. My wife hates it. She's like, yo, I don't know how you do it, because she doesn't even like watching it on the TV screen. And she's like, oh hell nah, I ain't watching this shit. You know. But anyway, so you copping Dead Space then? That's why ultimately.
Yeah, I'm interested in that.
That's it. Got you. All right.
It's gonna be back to back too. Like, you know what I mean? If I'm playing Callisto, I might as well.
That's it. You do it. You just go in, conquer your fears. You get that trophy, and you show the world. You understand what I'm saying? You know, it was 10 years in the making, my brother.
Sir.
Call me Jay. How about you, brother?
No, it's not my type of game. I'm not really gonna get it. I played 1, 2, and 3 a little bit, but it wasn't really cutting it for me. I'm glad that EA is letting them freaking remake the game and sort of bring back eyes into it, but no, I'm not getting it.
Yeah. Okay. Are you getting Callisto Protocol?
Nope.
So you're not messing with that?
No, it's not that I'm scared or something. I don't find it interesting. It looks fucking badass. It's just I don't see me sitting down playing through it.
You scared? It's all right. Now I'm playing.
Listen, man, I'm gonna wait till it's on Game Pass.
There you go. The truth comes out, man. There you go. That's true. That's a true gamer right there. Yeah. 6 months later. Yeah, I'll be on Game Pass 6 months later. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's it. I respect your hustle.
You love gaming.
I respect.
You love gaming.
Yeah, oh, shout out!
I'm gonna use GameFly. I'm gonna use GameFly for it.
There you go. Now that's the truth right there. GameFly. That's how you do it. Day one on GameFly.
That's the optimal way to play a video.
That's it. There you go.
Okay.
And it's physical.
Stadia.
You support
before
physical.
It closes down.
And you support physical too. Shout out to Edwidge22. He says Warhawk would be great for a remake on PS5. You know what?
Warhawk would be great for PSVR 2. More like.
Ooh,
that'd be better.
Or even Starhawk, because that was the sequel.
Both of them
was fun.
Like a Starhawk Warhawk bundle.
You can have it so it's
free
you
to
can
play
with the controller and on a flat screen, and also play in VR. There's games like that.
I would do it. I would make that free to play.
Yeah,
I think. All right,
that would be perfect.
A free to play, because I think that will work as a free to play. That will work. All right. Next up on the list, Project.
Yeah.
Great single player experience. What you gonna do? You gonna get Dead Space? You gonna jump right in?
Well, in time, I don't know if I'm gonna get it right away, because I just have so much I'm just trying to get through. But yeah, I mean, look, if my slate was clear, absolutely, that would be a day one purchase for me.
All right.
And then what's, as we was sort of talking about earlier, Callisto Protocol, that comes out early December, and the Dead Space is late January.
It's like middle.
Dude, that's an amazing 2 months of practically 3 months of this sci-fi horror genre. I mean, that's a great way to plus one another.
Yeah.
Like, it's really brilliant that they're coming out as a 1-2 punch.
Yeah, because what better way to spend your Christmas and New Year's with horror? Because it's perfect. It's just how it is. Holiday spirit. By thrashing aliens and dying and evil.
Yeah. And like Callisto Protocol, even though it's a cross-gen game, like, man, does that not look like a cross-gen game?
It does look good. It
looks like a next-gen title. Yeah. And we're still, people kind of forget this too, we're still in the early days of what next-gen gaming is like. We still haven't really gotten that, here's the full power of the PS5. We haven't had that Uncharted 2 moment for like the PS3, for the PS5 yet. So,
well, we're gonna have to wait another 4 years, because it seems like Sony's gonna still make PS4 games. So we'll probably finally get.
Well, can I say something about that?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna say something about that. So, look, maybe there's multiple interviews out there with Herman Hulst, because that's the source of kind of that news that, hey, cross-gen is still a thing that Sony's doing.
Yeah.
But as far as I saw, though, there was only one interview. It was the video interview that Herman Hulst did with some probably international outlet, and he was just saying, like, at the end of the day, this is still on a case-by-case basis. He says in the same breath almost that, hey, Spider-Man 2, Wolverine, those are PS5 exclusives. And like, all I can see this is, if a game doesn't absolutely have to be on PS5 only, then it won't.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's a good business strategy. Like, if the games can still be on PS4 because the actual game doesn't require like the performance of the SSD, it's a more basic type of game, for example, then it's going to be on PS4. Mm-hmm. But if that game is truly taking advantage of the PS5, like from a gameplay perspective, then yeah, it's going to be exclusive. Mm-hmm. And I just have a little bit of, a nugget of info for you guys, but do you really think that the developers are trying to make games that can fit on the PS4? Or do you think that the games that are in development now are actually, for the most part, going to be PS5 exclusives that Sony's working on? And I think it's clearly the latter. I mean,
you bring up a really good point.
Be a bit of a capper.
I personally think,
but you got to remember, Project Cloud, the fanboys. All they're going to do is seize on the first part, not the factual part that you continue, which is Spider-Man 2 and Wolverine being on. I mean, again, you're right about that, but see, that doesn't get the fanboys moist. Right. They want to seize on that other thing. And as you said, we're early in the generation. We had a massive pandemic. It has, like you said, it's a sound business strategy. You have to stay nimble on your feet, so to speak, in business, especially with the supply chain issues. A major war in the backyard of Europe over there. So I agree with it, and I just am shocked. You're the first person I heard say that Herman Hulst with the whole quote. You're the first person I've heard say that. Yeah, because promise, swear, you're the first person I've heard say it. Everything else has been, they're gonna keep making PS4 games. That's what you've heard. You're the first person that has said the entire quote, but now you know what they're gonna say. We don't believe Herman Hulst. That's what they'll say now.
Yeah, but here's the thing about what Project Cloud said, which makes a lot of sense, is that it's one thing what they said, but it's also something that they've shown us through their actions since the beginning of the gen. They clearly let the developers choose if they want their game to be a cross-gen game or if not, because otherwise Ratchet & Clank would have been on PS4 as well as Demon Souls and stuff like that. So it seems like Sony is letting their developers choose, like, hey, like, if you think you can put it on PS4 and it's all good, then even better. But if not, if you just want to go full next gen, then go full next gen.
To be honest with you, I call Herman Hulst comment on the whole cross gen thing. That's just PR speech. That's just to hold people over to like, okay, it's possible that they're going full next gen. But at the end of the day, is that PlayStation has been saying a lot of things, and then the actions is much different. Just like the whole PC thing, they said this was a test. It was going to be old games. It's going to be PS4 old games. It's not the case. Now you're hearing day and date. Now you're hearing it's going to be a year apart. Things change.
At least a year. Or
that's what I'm saying. So yeah, you can't just take their comments. Yeah, it sounds nice. It sounds good. You know what I mean? You can bash whoever you want to bash, but at the end of the day, what's the actions that's going to be after that? I think he said that so vaguely like that. Is because a lot of these multiplayer games are going to be cross-generational. Some of the PlayStation games, if they want to go back on, let's say Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man 2 becomes a PS4 game like they did with Gran Turismo. Yeah. They have that cushion, like, but look what I said here in this interview.
But if their developers are wanting to do that, then they're going to do what the developers want. That to me makes perfect sense on management. I mean, if you're going to manage studios, even the PC games, those games are old. Zero Dawn was 3-4 years old when it went to PC. I mean, it was. God of War came out in 2018. Spider-Man came out in 2018.
Yeah, but what did he say?
Yeah, but look at Miles Morales. Miles Morales came out in
Miles Morales will be 2 years.
So that's
2 years.
Yeah, so you see the gap getting smaller and smaller.
Yeah. To me, a year is. I mean, I game on PC. A year is a long ass time.
No, so these comparisons aren't very accurate because back then when they were putting those games out on PC, they were testing the waters.
Yeah,
now they
exactly.
have land. That's why now they're talking more confidently about maybe 1 year or more But back then there were games that that came out way before, a couple years back, and it's more so because they were testing to see if people actually were interested in.
You're right. You're right. It's like you're putting popcorn out in certain theaters. I don't disagree. Just like today, Disney moved up the Black Panther date because they're bullish on what's going to happen. So I don't disagree with you, Call Me Jay. I think that, yeah, you go in kind of a half foot, and they got whatever results they did independently. It was better than they thought.
Yeah, and what I'm basically saying is that just don't take what he's saying definitively, because
I would never do that. But it does give you a direction where they're going to go, because this has already been discussed with the shareholders and the whales and all that kind of stuff. So they can't just do a U at this point. Now maybe Q2 they don't get what they're looking for. Yeah, they may go ahead and change it then, but we already know they're doing VR next year. At least that's what's been reported by multiple independent sources. So
hey, I don't cut you off, but can you lower your mic a little bit? Because people in the chat are saying that you sound really loud.
All right, I'll adjust it. I'll adjust it.
Yeah.
Hey, okay. Port, I have a question to ask you.
What's up?
And I'm gonna put it all in one sentence. Okay, so I know you mentioned it already on your last podcast. Was it worth of remaking Horizon Zero Dawn? And was the $70 for Dead Space, is that worth buying? Which I agree it is, because it's going to be built from ground up. And also, with this day and date that's going on for the next
you just
5
asked
years,
like 5 questions.
Are you still going to ride with console, or this is going to be your last console?
All right, so can you ask the first question again? What was your first question?
Was it worth for Sony to remake Horizon Zero Dawn, knowing that the second one recently just came out this year?
That's on them. I don't know. Like I said, I don't agree. This is just me. I think games that are PS3 and older should be the ones focused for remakes, because they really could stand out. The hardware was weaker, and I think certain games, like I discussed earlier, were just a generation too early. You know what I'm saying? Like Mag, Heavenly Sword, Resistance, in my opinion, would do a lot better and be more successful now than it was on PS3, right? But Sony's doing this for a reason, because at the end of the day, they see who's buying these games, right? Like, for example, Project Cloud, he's excited for Horizon Zero Dawn.
Oh,
remake,
God.
You understand?
Really?
But listen, the thing is, I don't have an issue, because it didn't stop Sony from making new games. So I can't really complain that they're providing Project Cloud, a Horizon Dawn remake, while I still got Returnal, Ratchet & Clank, God of War. Hell, there's games I don't even want to buy, like Gran Turismo 7. Fuck that game. So
you buying that game.
Man, I did it. Man, fuck that game. You see what I'm saying? So there's games I'm like, I ain't buying that shit. Even though it's not first party, but I'm like, I'm not playing no goddamn game with a cat. I'm allergic to cats. I ain't gonna be sneezing all day playing this shit. You understand what I'm saying? So that's how confident and comfortable I am with the content I'm getting, that I'm not stressing like title release and feel like I'm forced to play games, because hell, like for example, I didn't buy Gran Turismo 7. I didn't mess with Uncharted Legacy of Thieves version, and I didn't mess with The Last of Us 1 remake. That's 3 games I chose not to buy from Sony PlayStation. Yeah, I don't feel like, damn, there's barely any games out. So to me, Sony's doing phenomenal compared to, for the first 2 years. So I don't have an issue with a Horizon Zero Dawn remake, because it hasn't impacted me, if that makes sense. I still get great games.
I hear you.
All right, so that's one. Your second question is Dead Space for $70?
Yes.
Absolutely. I'm buying it. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm buying it. You know what I'm saying? Especially when I thought, because if you guys remember, I don't know if you guys remember, but after Dead Space, they shut down the studio. I don't know if you guys remember last year.
No, I don't recall that.
All right, so the studio,
Visceral
Games. They were the ones that made Dead Space. They shut them down.
Yeah.
And EA said it's because Dead Space didn't make the money. It wasn't, the project wasn't successful. And everybody was just shocked, because it's so good. It was like 5 minutes, whatever. But no, according to EA, it didn't meet expectations, and they shut the studio down. They fired them. So the fact that I don't know how we got a remake out of this. I honestly, I'm gonna be real. The game was considered a failure, and EA shut the studio down. How we're getting this remake, I have no idea. but I'm buying this game day one. Hell yeah, I'm gonna play it. I love
How much is it again?
What?
How much is it again?
$70. $70.
Okay. $7. All right, yeah. Well, that's the new standard. Now, did the people who make, you said it was Visceral Games.
Visceral Games.
Did some of them make, or did some of them go over and help make Callisto Protocol? Or is it something? There's like some kind of connection, or
I don't know. That's a good question.
There's people who worked on the original Dead Space who did.
Yeah, Callisto Protocol is the original developers.
Oh, so there you go. There you go. So yeah,
there you go. Okay, cool. All right.
Yeah, so Visceral Games will look at that.
Solid.
So that's fantastic. All right, and then your third
Protocol day one for me.
All right, so yeah,
can't speak for nobody else.
And what was your third question, Usis?
So now you see how games are now going to be day and date within a year, and with the multiplayer.
That's not day and date. I mean, well. Go ahead, finish your question.
Does that stop you from buying consoles, or are you going to continue buying consoles?
All right, so like I said before, if Sony goes day and date, on PC, meaning all their first party games, like it's like what Xbox is doing, they're all the same ecosystem. Then I'm just gonna stay on PC. There's no point in me spending money on a console, and I'm gonna explain to you why, right? Because it's already happening on Xbox. It's just I understand. Now, let me start with the positive. For those of you who stay on console, believe me, I understand why. I get it. It's usually cheaper. You get great performance as long as, they don't do some weird shit like, use laptop CPUs. But if they use decent hardware, it's affordable. $500 for great hardware is easy. It's convenient. The developers are the ones that's going to make sure the games work. There's a lot of convenience to plug and play consoles. I totally get that. Okay. Now, if you don't have an issue with any of that, and then also it's cheaper. But if you don't have a problem with tinkering a little bit, spending more money, this is my thing about the reason why I would give up on consoles. Because I just don't see the sense in spending more money with the first party that they're not charging the PC gamers. Because if Sony goes day and day, Sony's not going to charge PC gamers a subscription fee to play their games online. Like the way Xbox is doing now. So right now, Xbox, let's say Gears of War 6 comes out, right? On Xbox, you gotta have either Game Pass or Xbox Live Gold to play the multiplayer. Unless they make it free to play. But if they don't make it free to play, right? And it's normal, Xbox gamers on console, you gotta be on Gold or Game Pass Ultimate to play the multiplayer. If you're on PC, you just get to play the multiplayer with no extra added fee.
Agree.
That's just crazy, bro. Right? That's just crazy. Another thing, and you can see it, Microsoft over the last couple of months, like you got Death Stranding on PC Game Pass, but you don't have it on PC console. And PC Game Pass is cheaper. You could get that for like $7 a month.
Yes.
That shit is crazy, bro. Like, you see what I'm saying? Microsoft has studios that makes PC exclusives.
Yes, I agree.
There's potential Sony could do the same dumb shit. And I'm not gonna give Sony, let's say, $600 or $500 for a PlayStation 6, $60 a year for subscription, and the PC gamers get it all for much less. Now, sure, PC's more expensive in general because of the hardware, but look what you get with the hardware. Like, Jay Barry, you play Spider-Man on PC, right?
Absolutely.
How your 3080 looks compared to the one you played on your PS5?
It looks better, substantially better. That's more sharper.
That's what you pay for. That's why. In fact, the ray tracing is better than the PS5 version, right? Easily.
Yes, agreed.
Yeah. That's what you pay more money for.
Yeah.
Easily, blow it out the box. No. If you put 120 hertz modes and you remove almost everybody in New York City, you can play this game at 1080p. Like, you got like 5 people in Manhattan in order to get the game ray tracing at 60 frames.
Yeah, that's true. I saw it.
I'm not lying, yo. Like most people don't know this because you stay up in the air, but I actually like walked in the city. I'm like, this place looks like The Walking Dead. Where are y'all motherfuckers? Like, Manhattan don't look like this, but I understand. You have to make concessions. On PC, you drop that. Listen, you could drive the Mercedes or you could drive the Toyota. Driving a Toyota is fine, but you're not going to drive a Mercedes with Toyota money. So it makes sense why PC is expensive, because you're going to get so much bigger performance. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So the way I see it, just right off the bat, even if I spend $2,000 on PC, if you subtract the price of an Xbox, which is $500, and you subtract the price of a PlayStation, which is $500, that's $1,000 that you saved. That's $1,000. That's $1,000, G. That's $1,000 that goes towards your PC, and neither console is gonna perform like the PC. You see what I'm saying? Then you subtract. Then
the big advantage with PC too.
And another thing, then you subtract the online subscriptions, so you don't have to pay for Game Pass. You don't have to pay for PSN Plus. You don't have to pay for none of that shit. So think of the savings across all that, and then you use whatever controller you want.
That's true too.
Generally speaking, PC costs more upfront and consoles cost more over time. That's the main difference. So if you have that mentality, you would be spending about the same, but you would be having a much better experience on PC because you have its own open platform. You can have a bunch of free-to-play games, a bunch of different launchers, a bunch of different apps. You can have multiple monitors, blah blah blah. Like
So until consoles also use features like DLSS. Like PC is always going to be the best place to play those games. Yeah. Like this is the reason why I feel like with a console, yes, you're not going to have the best performing game or the best looking game, but you want to have set features to set it aside and set it apart. But like in my opinion, what PlayStation is doing, I get what it's doing. It definitely can help business wise, but it can also be a detriment. But you bring in features like how the DualSense works to PC. Because now people's going to be like, there's nothing really special about your console. I have an SSD. You know what I mean? So the whatever game you can create, you can put it here on PC. But now the things that make that PS5 special, you're pretty much putting it on another platform. It loses that essence a little bit, in my opinion.
Now here's the thing. I agree with that. So that way the chat could see a little bit. We're going to use some facts. Let's pretend that Sony does decide, hey, it's day and date. So now you got day and date on PC with PlayStation, Xbox. All right, if you console gamer, you buy an Xbox, that's $500, and you buy a PlayStation 5, that's $500. So $1,000 right off the bat for these two items. And we're gonna go with the bare minimum. You're gonna go with PSN Plus, $60, Xbox Live Gold, $60. So right off the bat, you're talking $1,120 for two consoles, right? Each one with their own unique controller and two separate subscription service, so that way you could play online games, right?
Don't forget the TV.
Okay. I'm not going to include the TV because, that's whatever. But just right off the bat, you're talking, over $1,000, $1,120 for two consoles, right? If you put that towards your PC, right, you're only about a couple of hundred more, and you're going to get performance that's way past superior than both of those consoles. And then year after year, you don't have to keep resubscribing. Okay? That's one. Number two, PC digital stores is better because it's digital stores. It's multiple stores. On console, you ain't got digital stores. You only got one store in each, right? Sony and Xbox. And they dictate the price. There is no competitiveness in the digital stores because they're the only stores available, right? On PC, you got CD Keys, Steam, Epic Game Store, Humble, the Humble Bundles websites. You got so many more options, to get your games cheaper. So chances are, if there's any platform where you're going to be able to get games cheaper than $70, cheaper than $60, it's going to be on PC. The only thing that PC doesn't really have is physical. Consoles, if you're a physical gamer, then console's the way to go because they do it the best. PC, they kind of moved on from the whole own your own games physically and all that stuff. But when you think about it overall, the consoles cost $500 each. You're spending $1,000 on two consoles if you want to play all those games, right? And then the added tax or subscription to have the multiplayer component added to that. So you are spending a lot of money on console gaming regardless. It's no longer the $200, $300 hobby that we used to enjoy. It's already at $500, and that's this gen. Who knows how much the console's going to cost next gen? They might raise that shit up to $600. Now you're talking two consoles at $600 a piece.
And you're like simplifying it to numbers because
I'm keeping it simple.
PC is very convenient, but console is a lot more convenient than PC sometimes. There's sometimes where something just happens because you did something stupid and you don't know what the fuck to do on PC, so you just kind of get locked. Whereas on PlayStation, you rarely get issues.
That's what I say.
It's more like a plug and play.
So consoles is closer to plug and play than PC. Absolutely. Now here's the main thing, and I mentioned this before. The real advantage, and this is why I say advantage, that consoles had over PC was the first party. First party for consoles was the true strength over PC. Like if you try to say, hey, consoles better than PC, and be like, oh, how is consoles better than PC? First party. Sorry, bro. PC don't have a first party. The closest first party at the time was Valve, right? And stuff like that, right? But now, the reality is first party, and first party brought bangers to that console, and they they focus on that one hardware. And to me, that was always the advantage of first party. If there was anyone who was ever going to bring the best out of a console, it's your first party. That's their job. Third party, that's not their job. But your first party, they're the one that's going to cater to your core audience and make sure your console runs the best. But in a
lot of PC people move to consoles because of stuff like God of War, Spider-Man, Uncharted, and so on.
Yeah, but but in a world of day and date on PC, those first parties no different than third party devs. Because even now, and I'm gonna get into it, when you have to release a game on two platforms, two different architectures, you are a multi-plat dev. Even though you're first party, you're no different than EA, Ubisoft, Miami, because you're not gonna focus on your console and then worry about PC. You're not gonna do that. Even now, right? When Sony made that statement, when Sony made the statement that at least a year, I want you to look at this now. So let's say Sony assumes, they're gonna try to get the game out on PC. Let's say 2 years, right? That means at this point, going on forward, any new game that's a concept, meaning, hey, I got a great idea for a new IP. It's just right now a cartoon drawing. They are thinking about PC at that moment. Because I cannot see Sony right now, or any developer, knowing that, hey, Nixxes or whatever, they're going to port this game 2 years after we release it. I can't see saying, fuck you, Nixxes. We're going to just focus 100% on PS5, and then you're just going to have to figure it out after game releases. I don't see them doing that. I see them considering PC right from the get-go. So that way, when Nixxes or whoever needs to port it, it's a lot easier for them to port it. What do you guys think? Because I don't see that. Let's say, like, for example, Jay Barry's Nixxes. And I know Jay Barry, he's going to have to end up taking my game 2 years after I release and put it on PC. I'm not going to be like, man, Barry, fuck you and your work. This is 100% focused on PS5. After I'm done building it, that's your problem. Figure it out. If you know business, that's not how businesses work. That's like totally against things like Lean Six Sigma or Scrum Master. That's like the most inefficient logic. Like, businesses don't work that way. They're gonna find streamlined processes. I no longer see Sony saying, "Yep, 100% PS5 focused," and then Nix is just gonna have to deal with whatever we did. Like, oh well, deal with it, because it's all about the PS5, dog. Sorry. I don't see that. That's just, from a business and a professional environment, that doesn't make sense to go that route. What do you guys think?
So, you make a lot of sense, and that's true. Like, obviously, they have, from the very start, they start working on the game, thinking of like their partner Nixxes and how they're going to, how easy or hard they're going to make it for them to port the game over to PC whenever the time comes. But I'm not a developer, but so I could be just talking out of my ass here. But most of those issues that you bring up are mostly resolved. It only comes down to scalability and things like texture and how much work they're going to put into making assets and art, because we already have the Insomniac Games engine on PC. We already have the Decima engine on PC. I don't know what else they have ported. Days Gone was Unreal Engine. So the biggest hurdles for developers is having an engine that lets them be flexible. And whenever they make an engine that is supposed to, that it was only made specifically to do one thing, it's harder for them to branch out and sort of fix these issues to make that engine work on other platforms. And I think Sony throughout the years, and maybe with the help of Nixxes too, and what are the developers who made the Demon's Souls remake? I forgot their names.
Bluepoint Games?
Yeah, Bluepoint Games. I think that those two are like, alongside with the first party studios that are already making these big games, they have made sure that the engines that they're working on are made to be scalable so that it'll make it easier for them to port that stuff over to PC when the time comes. And also it being an x86 architecture, which is essentially just a PC with a PlayStation operating system inside of it, also makes it easier for them. So,
all right, okay. What do you think, Jay Barry? Oh, go ahead, Project. Go ahead.
I would say this. I mean, look, you'd have to get into the weeds of the technicalities of how games are made, right? To know with an engineer, like, hey, are you actually at some point considering like a PC release down the road as to why you have this particular feature set in your engine or whatever? But that being said, like, let's also not forget that games are made on PCs anyway. They have a dev station, to when they're making PS5 games. It's not like they only have a PS5 console. They have the actual proper PC dev kit that they're making their games on. And I would also say this too, like the PS5 does have some super, customizable things that Mark Cerny, architected into it. But at the same time, like if you remember when the PS5, presentation that he gave occurred, he talked about how like it takes like a month or less to get a PS5 game up and running. So, and that was very much dependent on, continuing that x86 architecture, that the AMD processor that they have. So, I mean, like, the console has gone more and more of a PC direction. It's just a more customized PC direction. So, I mean, again, I'm not an engineer, but what I would say is I really don't see a situation where I think the developer ever needs to be like, oh, let's hold back because we got to, worry about the PC release coming. I just don't think that's there. I think they can take full advantage of the PS5, especially, Sony's first-party studios here. And there's already, plenty of crossover just from their engine, just the way the PS5 works, the dev kits work, that Nixus will figure out whatever the gaps are, as well as any other studios that may be involved.
So let me add a point to that, all right? Because right now the games that are being ported to PC are PS4 games. So these games, the baseline is PS4. Hardware from 2013, right? If you're going to take a PS5 game that's supposed to be native for PS5 and you're already planning on to port it to PC, you have to cater to the lowest common denominator that you're going to want to sell to PC. And I'm telling you, that lowest common denominator is not going to be the 2000 series of cards. It's not going to be the 2080s and the 3080s. It's going to be the 1600s. I think right now the average PC gamer is on a 1060 Ti. So
there's no Ti, but it's just a 1060.
Yeah, 1060, right? So even if they say, we'll just cut it off at 1080 Ti, that is still low as hell as a barometer. So so there's potential that when they create a game, they're going to be like, all right, this is eventually going to go to PC eventually. So let's try to finagle this to where a 1080 Ti is the minimum spec on that side of the house. And then we'll just work from there up. Where the PS5 is not going to be the minimum spec. It's just not going to be the minimum spec. The minimum spec now will be a 1080 Ti. Vice the PS5 itself. Instead of saying, hey, let's say equivalent PC is a 2060 for, I'll lowball it, a 2060, right? That's not going to be the minimum spec, though. It's going to be a lower card because they need a mass audience. Because what would be the point of putting on a PC if you're going to limit the audience to who can actually play this game? They're not going to do that. They're not trying to push, GPU sales. They're like, oh, we're going to use our future games to really get these 3080s. That's not Sony's business. It's not their job to convince people to buy 3080s to run their games. That's not their job. So, unlike consoles where Sony probably wants you to buy a PS5, so they're going to entice you with PS5 exclusive, they could give a goddamn if you go out and buy a 2080 or 3080 or 4090. That's not their job. They're going to go after the group that's already there. And if their eyes is like, all right, we're going to start with 1080 Ti. We'll go from there up. That's no different than staying. I mean, you might as well just keep making a game for PS4 then. If you're going to do that. For fucking, don't. I mean, if you're going to cater to a low spec PC, then fuck it then. Well, what's the point of making PS5 exclusives? Because that's not the bare minimum. Let's be honest. Am I wrong in this? Hold on, let me hit up the super chats. The super chats. We got Liquid Data. He says, I feel like they are going to let games do their numbers on PS5, then send them to PC. All right. Jay Barry, he gifted memberships. Shout out to my brother. You know what I'm saying? One of two people, and shout out to Persona in the chat. Them two running the greatest PlayStation podcasts ever created. Check them out on Saturdays. Neil Wise, most ports are not done by first party themselves. Bobo Country, if God of War flop in reviews, folks will blame PC focus. Oh shit. Johnson, he says PC might be more powerful, but it's PlayStation all day, buddy. You PlayStation guys on the panel have lost your way. Oh shit. We need to can't come home. Can't come back home. All right. Bobo Country again, he says too many first party making multiplayer PC day one. I'm gonna bring up that point. And then Neo Wise, hold on, let me see. He says, I think the reason Sony live service games are going to take longer to make is because they are making a PC version at the same time, which is needed. I agree too. I think a lot of the PS4, PS5 crossover specifically is going to be primarily live service games, but I will provide information. But hey, Project, you said that I'm wrong. Why am I wrong?
Well, let me clarify now that you kind of read somebody's comment or whatever. So, for the games that they're making that are gonna like be day and date PS5 and PC, maybe some of the live service games that are coming. Although they have talked about PS5, like in Jade Raymond's studio, they did use the terminology PS5 exclusive. So if they're going to be consistent, that means not PC. But let's just assume for sake of
argument. Well, I'm gonna say this. Hold on, real quick. The term PS5 exclusive, and as stupid it is, the definition of exclusive changed. It's no longer the definition that it's supposed to be. So when you hear PS5 exclusive or something, it's usually referring to PS5 exclusives could also mean, obviously no PS4 version. But I want to make sure, for whatever reason, this gen, like the term exclusive simply means not on the direct competitor's platform. Like, for example, Xbox. An Xbox exclusive is a game that's on Xbox, PC, Nintendo Switch, phones, cloud, Stadia, everything. But as long as it's not on PlayStation, it's exclusive. Even though you could play it on every other single device in the world. That's just how stupid that definition got. So right now, everybody's using that definition as not on the competitor's platform. Everything else is fine. Even Nintendo. Oh, yeah, it's still exclusive. Who cares, Nintendo? That don't count. Just as long as it's not on the direct competitor's platform. So, hey, go ahead. Go ahead, Project Cloud.
Yeah, I mean, there's exclusivity as far as a window now, at least for PlayStation titles. You know what I mean? You get that. Now it's about 2 years, from the PS5 release until it comes out on PC. But honestly, like, just the fact that there is that type of a gap going on, that just does not indicate to me, like, oh yeah, we need to make sure we're designing for a PC in mind. Like, I just don't see that.
The reason why you don't see it is because you're not seeing, because I don't know who mentioned, I think it was either Call Me Jay or maybe Jay Barry, actually. You're not seeing the transition. The beginning of Horizon Zero Dawn was more like, is the pool warm? You dip your toe.
I hear what you're talking about.
You're touching the water.
Yeah, you're touching the water. But once you jump in the pool, you're in the pool now. Now you gotta swim. So you gotta think about it. If they're jumping in the beginning, it was like but once you realize, the water feels good. Once you're in the water, you start swimming. So now, once you're in PC development, you gotta look at it from a professional environment. You got to start thinking beyond what you normally do. You know, and now if they're telling you, and Jay Bar just said it, before it was like, case by case basis. 3-something years. Now it's a year. They're deeper. They're deeper into PC development. So now if you're knee deep into PC development as a business, as developers, you got to work smarter. You can't work harder. You got to work smarter. You got to be more efficient, and if you have first-party studios, fellow co-workers, and they're already telling you, your game, they probably know. We don't know, but they probably know which games are going to come out on PC 2 years ago, which means we have to plan that shit now. We can't wait 2 years before to start thinking about the PC port version. We're doing that right now. It just makes business sense. We're going to think about what we need to do for our fellow co-workers to have a faster, easier time to port these games on PC. I just don't see, let's say, for example, if I'm Insomniac making Spider-Man 2 and I do all this, we focus strictly on PS5, and then Nixus comes, they do a PC port 2 years after, like, damn, Insomniac, why didn't you do this? This was going to be easier. And Insomniac's like, cause fuck you, that's why. I don't see that. Insomniac's going to do that part to be like, you know what? Since we in the pool, let's get the little rubber ducky. Let's get the floaties. If we're in, we're in. We're in it, and we're just gonna. I feel they're just gonna go in and do right by the entire process. I just don't see them just focusing on PS5 anymore. I don't see it. It just doesn't make sense.
So let me qualify what I'm saying more. So I want to first of all say that there actually is, I would say at least right now, one glaring sort of exception to what I'm talking about, and that would be The Last of Us Part 1. because it just came out on PS5, but they said it's very soon after on PC.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be this year, it could be early next year. You know, when that comes out. Regardless, I can see that game. You know, that they had PC in mind. I don't know. Maybe it originally started as PS5, and then the PC got tacked on. But the point is, it still got tacked on while the game was in development, as opposed to like the game first releases on PS5, and then we think about PC after the fact. So that game to me clearly, you know, they had PC in mind at some point while the game was properly in development.
So, God of War Ragnarok, they got PC in mind. While the game is in development.
Yeah, well, to me, that's going to be an example of a game where they release it like about 2 years after the fact. I think the Miles Morales thing that they're doing right now is
God of War is going to be a year. You know why I say God of War is going to be a year? Because when they announced it going gold, I know that's one of the topics. We're going to segue a little bit.
Yeah.
They also showcased 8 different studios helping with this game. And these aren't just, you know, other studios like Sucker Punch or whatnot. These are the PC studios that they recently acquired or they, you know, licensed it, or not licensed out, but they are helping with it, like Jetpack, Super Alloy, Super Genius, Red Hot, what's this called? Original Force, Valkyrie. They just bought Valkyrie. Creative Arts help with these are like PC stuff.
Well, no. So like, that's not to say that there isn't in some way, somehow, some communication about PC, but what that statement about going gold actually is, it's supposed to mean, unless there's some shady things going on. But like, I know Valkyrie Entertainment, if that's the right terminology for them, like that is specifically for the PS5 release here. This isn't like, oh, these studios are doing PC stuff. Like, they're really not. Like, there's a reason why Nixus isn't here, because this isn't a PC title right now. It's going to come to PC, of course.
I mean, we don't really know what's going on behind closed doors to really be sure if J-Bar is correct, or if you don't know that though. Because like what J-Bar is saying makes a lot of sense if we knew what was going on behind closed doors, but we don't. So
let's also keep in mind,
can't be correct.
Yeah, let's also keep in mind this game is also a PS4 game, so this game could easily run on PC.
Well,
so because PS4 is the bare minimum, it's the bare minimum. So
yeah, but what I'm saying is that PlayStation recently bought Valkyrie, but they bought them for the whole PC movement. They said that with the.
I don't think that's. I don't know if that's the case.
Look at the games that they helped create. This is Valkyrie's profile here, no pun intended. Valorant, Halo Infinite, Forza Motorsport 7, League of Legends, Runeterra, Bloodlines 2, Ark, God of War, which they actually did the port for PC. God of War, Ragnarok, Shadow of War, State of Decay 2. This studio is known for just what Nixus is doing. They do the PC ports to majority of these.
But what I'm saying here is this specific announcement that we got on Twitter about going gold, this has been referenced to the PS4 and PS5 version.
No. Of course. I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm saying the reason why there's so many studios listed in there is because they also are gearing up for that PC version, so it's much easier to port it over for the game. That's what I'm saying.
All I'm saying is this. Let me put it this way. Let me put it this way. Let's say if we worked for a company, any developer, right? Well, let's say a first-party developer, Sony in particular, right? And let's say Call Me Jay and J Bar, we know they're the ones that's going to eventually be responsible. Let's say Craig. Let's say me, Craig, Project, we're the console developers, right? We're first-party, 60 frames, no lag gaming, and we got this brand new IP. We have an idea of this brand new IP we want to make for PlayStation 5, right? We also know the company is in on PC. So we know our game will eventually go to PC, whether it's 1 year, 2 years, maybe 3 years. Sony's going to decide when's the right time. But we already know it's going to be J Bar and Call Me Jay, their team. They're going to be the ones responsible to port our game when the time comes. When we make our game, are we honestly just going to focus on PS5 and not have consideration on what they're going to do and how they're going to port it? Like, we're just going to ignore everything about PC and just strictly focus on PS5. And then once we're done with our game, we're just going to be like, oh, hey, Call Me J Bari, sucks to be you, but figure it out. Or are we gonna try to find a balance of knowing, hey, we're gonna make a great game, and then when our boys call me J&J Bari about to do the PC port, we help them streamline the process to get a good port going on PC, because ultimately that's what our bosses want. Our bosses want this. It's not our decision. Yep. The people give us our check. They're saying, hey, we're gonna support PC. That's who we work for. It's not. We didn't make the decision. We're just part of it. They say, hey, we're in on PC. Mm-hmm. We got gamers on PC. Gamers on PC like our games. All right. If this is what you want, we'll do it. You think, would you, Project Cloud, be like, nah, fuck J Bari and Call of Duty, 100% PS5, no concessions. Go give a damn. They're just going to have to figure it out.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? I don't think they're going to do that.
Well, so here's what I want to say. So even though I still believe that the PS5, the developers get to focus on that. Like, it's not like they have to be like, oh, well, we have to worry about this one, graphics card model. No, I really don't think that they have to worry about that. That being said, that does not mean that their engines and, and further dev kits that come out and just the engineering background, it doesn't mean that you can't also be like, okay, well, we're also going to make something, kind of do two things as opposed to only one thing. But I also don't think that inherently means that, hey, we're compromising the PS5 version.
So let me ask you this then.
I think it's additive as opposed to subtractive.
So let me ask you this.
But the PlayStation version is already compromised because they're making a PS4 version.
That's what I was going to ask them. Do you think PS4 is compromising the PS5 version?
I do, but see, here's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about what the games like Spider-Man 2 and Wolverine is what I'm really more talking about, as opposed to God of War Ragnarok, which isn't a good example because it's a cross-gen game.
Mm-hmm. But let me say this.
I don't think Spider-Man 2 is compromised. I'm sorry, I just don't believe that.
Well, let me ask you this.
Spider-Man 2 only on PS5? Confirmed?
Well, they confirmed. Yes. They said. Yeah,
PS5 that's what they announced.
But here's my thing. What's the
come to PC at some point?
Yeah, but here's my thing. Yeah. What's the difference between PS4 getting a version and a PC with a 1060 GPU getting a version? To me, it's the same thing.
Well, no, you're correct. When you talk about a cross-gen title, absolutely. Like God of War Ragnarok is, let's just call it what it is. It's a compromised game. Because it's not a PS5 exclusive, and I'm talking about
DLC, PS5 bro. Just be real, it's DLC.
Oh shit, here we go. no, but listen, what I'm trying to say.
The thing is, 2P Rock is like, all right, when you're putting these games on PC, everybody don't game on an SSD. So the world building that you're doing, what Mark Cerny was alluding to and speaking about in the whole concept of the reason why they went this way with a PS5. That went out the window because majority of the people that's gaming on PC, they're not gaming like that as far as these high-end speeds with these their PC like that. And the thing
I'm so glad you brought that up.
That changes how you quote unquote supposed to design these worlds with this SSD if you're going to be putting all this stuff on PC.
Not necessarily. Here's why. So when designing a game, let's say they're making God of War Ragnarok only on PS5, and then the PlayStation, Sony was like, no, you got to make it for PS4. Now they have to change fundamentally a lot of things about their game in order for that to fit into the slow memory and slow bus and whatever the hell in the PS4. Whereas on PC, there's different ways that they could tackle that. So, for example, what Mark Cerny is doing with the PS5 is it's a lot cheaper than the alternative that would be. So most of the game just loads out of the SSD because the IO is really fast and the SSD is also really fast. On PC, if someone doesn't have that, there could probably be a toggle that's like, I don't got an SSD, and what they'll do is they'll just load a lot more data into the RAM of your PC already because it'll be a lot faster than your hard drive or your SATA SSD. So in a way, the PC version of a PC gamer who's playing that game would have to have a lot more RAM on their system to hold all that data that otherwise on PlayStation it just gets streamed really fast. So if Spider-Man 2 is only on PS5 and they make a PC version, it'll have that same PS5 version if someone's playing on an SSD. But just like Cyberpunk, you can toggle a hard drive mode because you don't have an SSD that's really fast. And what it'll do is it'll just start loading a bunch of more assets into your RAM. And if you don't have the RAM, then you just got to upgrade your PC, bro. So I'm really glad you brought that up because that's what I was going to say. Like, there's ways for a PS5 only game to there's a way for Nixus to come up with new ways to put that same game a little bit different, but on PC. Because people might, a lot of people don't have SSD, but a lot of people probably have 16 gigs of RAM or more that are DDR4 or 5, so they could go through that route.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you breaking that down, because it's like, and my whole point is like, well, Nixus is here for a reason. It's like I really don't think that having a development studio focused on PS5 only, you know, when that time comes, it's already happening. But you know what I mean. We have to really see those games come out, succession of that. Right now, where it's always kind of like, well, is it going to be on PS4? You know, we have that question mark. But yeah, Nixus is there to fill in the gaps. Like, they have their own, you know, technology solutions, and you know, and continually improve this stuff, and you know, and also they can collaborate with the studios. Not to say that they're taking away from PS5, to be like, hey, you know, there's this tool you can add to the engine, or maybe they don't even do that. Maybe it's just like, okay, just give us the source code and we're going to go figure it out here. Mm-hmm. Like, it'll just work.
Yeah,
just trust the system.
So like, because no, but this is new. This is new territory for PlayStation. Because before, when you heard PS5 exclusive, it's we're making a game for PS5. They're taking advantage of PS5 because it's being built for PS5. But now the reality is, hey, we're making a PS5 exclusive, but we're going to have PC in mind, because we know it's coming to PC eventually. So it's no longer, you know, before it's like, who's a PC? What's a PC? And we ain't worried about that. You know what I'm saying? Now it's no longer like that. I will say this. Remember the tweet from Insomniac? Oh, Spider-Man's, you know, PS4 exclusive only. You have to get a PS4. And then now you see it's on PC. Now everybody was talking shit to Insomniac on Twitter, but you got to understand from their perspective. At the time when they made that tweet, that was their mindset. Sony didn't tell them, yo, you're going to make these games eventually come out for PC. Because if they did, they wouldn't have said that. They only said what they were directed to do. Sony's their boss. They told them, hey, you're making this for PS4. Got it. Spider-Man, PS4. That's all we're worried about. Strictly focused on PS4. And then when the gamers asked them, hey, is this coming out on PC? No, it's not coming out on PC. You're going to have to get a PS4. Then 2 years later, they look stupid. And they're like, but they're not stupid. They only did work for what they were told to do. But now they're being told different. I guarantee all these studios are being told, prepare for your games to come to PC. We're just going to determine when's the right time. So now that they got new guidance, new rules, hey, we're making a PS5 exclusive, not going to be on PS4, but we got PC in the back of our brains. Because our boss already told us it's happening. You know, we're not going to ignore our boss and pretend PC don't exist. We already know that that's the guidance. That's what they want, that eventually these games will come to PC. So as they're developing their games, I'm pretty sure they're keeping that platform in their mind. You know, what's the intended specs? You know, and they probably know this. They probably already know the intended minimum specs that Sony's targeting for PC platform. So all of that's in their mind.
Yeah,
you know,
you're right, but that's why Jay Barry brought up the fact that God of War Ragnarok in particular has so many PC studios that are focused on porting games to PC or working on with that in mind. Because although the main development team, Santa Monica, I can't talk, but the God of War developers are focused on making the game for PS4 and PS5. These other studios like Valkyrie and Bluepoint can focus on scaling the textures, making sure that there's graphics presets and so on and so forth, to where the eventual PC release comes out. You know, that's why they're there. That's what Jay Barry was bringing up. Like, these studios they're not in that picture just because they're working on the console version, but it's because they're helping Santa Monica build up to the PC version.
Let me get some super chats. Magnum Visual. He says, Herman Hall said, now all games will get a PC port. I think there will be some games that will show off the PS5 secret source. I'm going to be honest. I'm just going to be straight up. I don't really care what these guys say anymore. Because like Jay Barry said, they constantly go back and forth, or they'll say something and they do something completely different. I think right now at this time, I don't know, they're just going to say something that sounds good at an interview. But in reality, they're going to do what the hell they want anyway. right? They did. I will say
Yep.
they did say one thing, which is true, that when they did this PC ports, they barely got any backlash, right? Because the reality is the community that we're in is a very small voice. The majority of PlayStation gamers, we're talking 100 million out there, whatever, 50, 60, 70, 80 million out there, they didn't say shit. Because if 80 million PlayStation gamers would have made their voice, we would have heard it across the whole airwave. Barely anyone said anything.
And the people that's more vocal and loudest, they don't game on PlayStation. That's not their primary platform.
So
you know
even if
so
exactly, and
the
even
people
if
that they are listening to are the people who are like PC or Xbox gamers or whatnot that has a big following and a big backing that they, you know, if they type out a tweet, they get 800, 500 likes and retweets. That's what they're hearing. Oh, they say, oh, no adverse reaction, that people don't care about the game going PC. Yeah, because they don't want to. These people don't want to buy a PlayStation. They don't want to buy, but they're forced to buy one because they want to play the exclusives.
All right. And Manuel Mbala, thank you for Super Day. He says, P-Rock, you wouldn't compromise your product for a fraction of your player pool. 20 million PS versus 1 million PC. PS5 games will not compromise. Let me ask you this, Emmanuel. How would you know it got compromised?
Compromise?
Yeah, compromise, really.
Compromise,
really. That's what he meant.
Hey, that's a new word, compromise.
Yeah. But how would you know?
P-Rock.
How would you know?
You don't.
You don't. You know?
You don't.
You don't.
That's what I'm saying.
If
both
Sony,
J-Bari and Project Cloud are correct in their assumptions. They're both correct because we don't know.
Yeah, because right now, this gen is still early, right? So we haven't seen actually the full-fledged power of the PS5. But what if they never do it? So how would we be able to define, how would we be able to benchmark a PS5 game that took, first party, really took advantage of the PS5 if they never showed it to us? We would never know. So you wouldn't know if what gets compromised. I'm going to tell you this, though. If you get a PlayStation 5 exclusive, and then a year or two later, the PC release, you best believe they didn't do that from scratch within 2 years. That sucker was already in the planning phase from the moment. So if we get a brand, let's say like Wolverine. They release Wolverine, PS5, whatever. 2 years later, Wolverine comes on PC. Don't think for a minute that game did not have PC in mind from the start. Don't. There's no way.
So,
it's just, I don't see that happening. They're already merging with that. Don't need to. Let me put it this. I'll even give you the perfect studio that does that. Rockstar. Hell, that's what they do. They have their games built for PC and console in mind, but they release the console version first to get the most out of it, and then a year later, the PC version comes out. You think Rockstar started the PC port 1 year, immediately after the console release? No. They were working hand in hand all the way through, but then, they finished the console version first, and then they optimized and got the PC done first. In my opinion, that's what Sony's exactly doing. They're doing the Rockstar method, in my opinion.
So, P-Rock, let me actually touch on this here. So, obviously, Rockstar has PC in mind. With that being said, just look at what they did with that game. They absolutely pushed the PS4, hard, and the Xbox One very hard. So, look, could you argue that there was even more room to push? I suppose, but I'll be honest with you. When does that process ever end? I would actually argue it never ends. You could always, if you had more time, a developer can always just find another way to cut the code, in shorter versions, have shorter code and therefore get more performance and more out of what you're seeing on screen somehow.
But I'm going to say this.
So the work never ends, even though we say things like 100% maxed out. It's not really true, but it basically is a way of saying hey, they're actually using the full power of it. It's just, now it's about optimization, right?
Now I'm going to say this. The thing about Rockstar, though, compared to Sony, they make one game in 6 years.
Yeah.
Naughty Dog don't got the ability to just make one game for 6, 7 years. Rockstar does. That's why they're able to probably do what they do on console, because that's the only shit they're going to make. They're going to make that one game. Took them 6, 7 years and $500, $800 million budget. So, yeah, they could do that. Sony can't do that. Well, Sony can't say, hey, Sony Ben, you're only gonna make one PS5 and that's it. And you could take 7 years to figure it out. They're not. It's just
they took 7 years for Days Gone.
They don't have that,
whatever,
right?
But
But Days Gone is definitely, even on the PS4, there was a lot of bugs, a lot of issues with that game, lots, and it's definitely not nowhere near. I would say there's a reason why Days Gone is not used as an example of Sony first party quality. You ever notice that? Like nobody uses that game. They use Horizon Zero Dawn, God of War, Spider-Man, definitely Naughty Dog games. No one mentions Days Gone for a reason. It's not. It's good, but you don't use that as an example as what Sony's first party is capable of in terms of premium top tier AAA level quality titles. Days Gone came out with a lot of good game, but it came out with a lot of bugs, a lot of issues. It wasn't Sony Ben's best product.
So let me say this about dev time. So could a developer, just like any medium, could they always ask or want more time? I'm sure. But I will say this too. Naughty Dog doesn't necessarily need 7 years to make their game. And they're not necessarily asking for that either. And also they have multiple teams. And, from what I understand, Neil Druckmann's probably working on a new IP and is working on it for a few years already. In the meantime, because the studio isn't quite ready to go into full production on that, maybe they just started that now or whatever because they just released, a game here. But Last of Us Part 1, people ask, why was that game made? Well, it was in part made, I think, when Jason Schreier's article first came out. It was just kind of the studio needs something to do.
I will say this.
People forget that too.
Yeah, you're right. Naughty Dog doesn't ask for 7 years, but at the same time, Naughty Dog wasn't asked to make PC versions of games either. All their games used to be focused for the play. Hell, imagine if Naughty Dog had to worry about PC during the PS3 era.
Okay.
The only reason why they were top tier premier and able to take advantage of the cell processor because that's all they had to worry about. They didn't have to worry about ports of any type.
That would have been terrible, dude.
It would have been terrible. It would have been almost. Yeah. Listen, there was only 3 groups that really took advantage of the PS3. That was Sony's first party, primarily Naughty Dog, right? They were really great at it. Rockstar, but again, Rockstar started transitioning away from making, 10 games, 20 games a year, in a generation to 3, right? So Rockstar, and you remember the first Grand Theft Auto 4, that shit was not running good. That shit was running sub 30. I don't know if you guys played Grand Theft Auto 4 on the PS3.
Yeah, it's still not good.
That was not good. That was not lock 30. That was running rough. Yeah. It wasn't until Grand Theft Auto 5 that they kind of figured it out. But in reality, it's PlayStation, primarily Naughty Dog for PS3, right? They figured it out. Rockstar with Grand Theft Auto 5, and that came out in 2013. And then the only other person was Kojima. Everybody else has some type of issue. And it is what it is. You got the version you got. Oh well, it ain't their fault because it was Sony who created this shitty ass architecture. It's not the third party's fault, right? But the first party generally did a good job because you don't have a choice. It's your console. You ain't worried about PC or these other devices. No, your ass get your punk ass on this console. If you don't do it, then who? But Sony made the decision to go start porting PC, and now they're saying at least a year. At least a year tells me anything after a year up to whatever. So if they release a game in 18 months, hey, that still hit the window. 2 years still hit the window. But notice the timing is getting shorter and shorter, and I think that's what Jay Barry's point was. Before, in 2020, nobody would think that at least a year. That was foregone. For us, even I admit it, even me, because I fell for it, a lot of us were just thinking, Sony's doing these last minute long cash grabs that are $10 now. Fuck it, put it on PC for $50. Like Horizon Zero Dawn, that game came out 4 years ago. At first, I was out logic. Sony's just taking games that are
we all thought minimum was 3 years.
3 years. Sony's taking these games that are now being sold for $10 on PlayStation, put it on PC for $50. I'm like, all right. That shit works. Now we went from that to, there's potential. You could get a game out in 18 months. Like, what? You see what I'm saying?
And day and date multiplayer games where you have to be paying for plus. Meanwhile, PC you don't.
And I will say this: if there's anything,
we don't know that 100%, but I hope that it's not the case because if it is, that's bullshit.
I tell people all the time, we already have an example, a IP that PlayStation owns, Predator Hunting Grounds. It's not their developer, but they own the IP that game you need PS Plus to play that game. Meanwhile, it's on PC.
Is it a live service game though? Like, is it considered a live service game?
It's like it's Friday the 13th with Predator. That's all it is. It's Friday the 13th.
Yeah, I know.
That's all it is. Friday the 13th with
So, D-Rock, let me say this. Like, let's just again, I choose to believe that PS5 exclusives like Spider-Man 2, Wolverine are going to be, let's say, quote unquote, uncompromised. And why do I believe that? Right now, because I want to believe that. But I'll say this. Let's just say you're right and that there's some amount of compromise that's happening. Who's to say there's a huge gap of compromise? What if it's only a small compromise?
The compromise will be small, for sure.
So like, I'm choosing to, first of all, believe no compromise. If I'm wrong, small compromise. And then I really think that'd be the worst case scenario is a small compromise that they make because they're considering PC. And I'll also say this too, like, it's not, and you kind of already said it already, but it's not like we're ever going to really know where the compromise was, because it's not like they're going to have an engineer come out and be like, hey, this is what it's like on PS5 only. This is like when we consider PC. I don't think we're going to get that. I don't think that would go over well. So at least the advantage, worst case scenario, is who cares? It's a PS5 exclusive until it's on PC.
Yeah, but
the thing is that all these PC studios that are helping the main PlayStation developers working on their games, like God of War, for example, they are the ones that are helping them choose, first of all, make all the assets, and then they're like, Santa Monica's like, okay, this is what works on PlayStation, and now the PC studios are gonna take that and make it even higher quality for the ultra setting on PC, and then just scale that down for medium and low settings for older and weaker graphics cards. Because it's like I said, on talking about scalability, a game from the an Xbox Series X game wouldn't really work well on the Xbox One without them doing some crazy overhauls, right? Because the console is just like it's just that box. That's it, one specific spec, and it's really old too. But on PC, there's different ways that they could take advantage of set scaling. Like if you have a 1060, for example, which is one of the biggest cards on Steam in use right now. It only has 6 gigs of RAM. It can only do 1080p, even with current games. So it's like, the textures are too much, then just lower the texture settings very low, and that's what you get because you have a really old card. Oh, it can't really hold all these polygons and all these draw distances, just take them down. People on PC that have weak systems and they know it, they are okay with their games looking like shit as long as they can play it. And on console is different because they have to have that quality bar, let's say, where a game can't really look freaking low poly 720p crap on an Xbox because people are going to be like, what the hell am I buying this console for? But on PC, when someone knows their PC is shit, they don't mind playing it at freaking 720p. 30 FPS, if that's what they can. That's the max that they can do for now.
Console gamers want the fat ass chick with no personality. We don't care if she graduated high school. She got a fat ass though. Now, anyway, yeah. Let me Borbor. He says God of War, like Horizon Forbidden West, will not be as smooth as Returnal Wretched. Even the image looks more stable in the PS5 exclusive. There are cuts in Horizon Forbidden West because of PS4. And shout out to the Ruham. He says, what up, P-Rock and the panel? Thank you, everybody, for participating. I'm going to share my screen on something because I want to show you something. And this is why I think definitely you're going to see day one live service games. This is just my opinion, but, this is based on
they've already announced that, basically.
What, did they? Did they actually say that live service games? This is going to be on PS4. PS4 and PC. This is the reason why. And I think PC also. One of the advantages of live service games is the initial population, especially free to play, because that's literally the reason why you make it free, because you want to give it to the population for free, so that way you can recoup that money on through money transactions and all that stuff. Yeah, microtransactions, right? So when they talk of, hey, we're gonna still potentially support PS4, right? It's because of this, really. This was a slide that Jim Ryan presented to, this was part of Sony's Investors Day. He's talking to the investors. Like, all of this, even though you get this publicly, he's really talking to his bosses, right? The people he's trying to make money for. And as you can see, PS4, in terms of spending on free-to-play games, primarily, he just gave an example of Fortnite, Genshin Impact, Call of Duty Warzone, Apex Legends, and Rocket League. They are spending a lot of money on stupid shit, right? So when he launches his new, all these new live service games, he wants these community to be part of that because they're cool with spending on fucking bunny ears. He doesn't want to cut out the segment that's willing to buy all this shit. So it does, So I personally see PS4, PS5, PC day one, because really that's the strength of free-to-play games. That's just remember, the free-to-play games is to collect microtransactions. Let's all be honest. That's the so what behind all this nonsense.
That's how they make their money.
You know what I'm saying? That's all the nonsense, right? So whether it comes from a PS4 gamer or a PC gamer, a microtransaction is a microtransaction. They're just gonna take advantage of this nonsense. All right, let's move on to the next topic. Let's talk about how PlayStation doesn't give a damn about Jay Boris fearing, and they're not gonna give him a show. But before that, Bor shout out. He says 1060 will compromise PS5 multiplayer games. Some folks will be 240 FPS, while we be 60 on exclusive.
It won't.
I think it's gonna be on PS4 anyway. These multiplayer games.
The best version will be the PS5 version. Okay, so here's the thing of that we haven't mentioned, and maybe some of you don't know this, but the PS5 console in itself is a fucking badass console. It'll last for a long time, and you'll get a ton of 60 and 120 1440p 4K games. It's not a weak console. So whatever game comes out, you're good. Like, you don't need to buy a PC. You're absolutely good. The only people that will be compromised are the PC people that have low-end cards that still want to play the game. They're the ones that are going to be struggling with stuttering and low frame rates and such, while you are the one dominating because you have a really good console. This is not the PS4 era or the PS3 era where they were very weak compared to PC. The PS5 is like a mid to high end PC spec for spec. So you're good. There's no compromise, bro. The compromise is the people that can't afford a high-end PC and don't have a PS5. Don't worry about it.
All right, hey, let me catch up. There's I missed some super chats. Give me a second. NYL says, who cast such fear into the hearts and minds of PlayStation gamers? Everyone is so terrified that PS is gonna F this up somehow, some way. Why? All right, so to answer your question, I'm just talking about technical reality. This ain't fear mongering. It is what it is. Listen. If you got developers, like, let's be honest, what's the difference between calling Sony's first party a multi-plat developer and calling EA a multi-plat developer? If you're making games for more than one platform, that's who you are. And you're going to do the same or similar type development techniques, procedures to get games running on multiple platforms. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, that's just a technical reality. It's not fear-mongering. It is what it is. Sony made this decision, there's nothing we can do about it, just like the Xbox fans, they had no decision in Microsoft. Microsoft told them, hey, we're doing our games day and day, and we're going to do cloud, and this is what we're going to do. It's their company. At that point, you just got to be realistic. All right, if you're trying to do all this, you're probably going to adopt strategies that EA does, Ubisoft does, Capcom does, Square Enix, Rockstar. You're going to try to adopt this multi-platform strategy, to create games and try to get it on these platforms as fast as you can, right? At the cost of what I don't see Sony still doing the mindset of PS1, PS2, PS3, maybe even PS4 strategy in a world where they know they have to make games for PS5. And Mal also said, or alternatively, PS are not idiots and will keep prioritizing the PS5 above all. PC will get whatever they get, fear clouding your view, P-Rock. So let me ask you this, Emmanuel. What makes you think, give me a logical reason that PS will prioritize PS5 above PC? Other than that's what we want. From a business standpoint, from Jim Ryan's standpoint, from developer standpoint, why would they prioritize PS5?
They even do that with God of War.
You know what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? Yeah, but I want you to know, I try to make up a statement. And if you want, you could jump in. But I want to hear the logic that Insomniac's like, oh yeah, we're going to focus on PS5 because Emmanuel wants that. And we're not going to disappoint the dudes on Twitter. No. Like,
I don't think it's fair.
What are we thinking here?
I think people are using the wrong words because they don't know how to articulate themselves. It's not fear mongering at all. You know what I mean? We're just basing things off of examples and reality, what we're seeing in the industry and how things are moving, what they're saying and whatnot. Everybody in here loves playing on PlayStation. Everybody plays on PlayStation regardless. You know what I mean? That's not going to change, you know, in the far future. But at the end of the day, you have to be real with yourself. These are the same people that when I told people, it was like 2 years ago, that this is what they're going to be focused on when it comes to live service games. And people was like, nah, you don't got to worry about that, J-Bar. Yo, live service is not going to be the priority for PlayStation. Oh, look at that recent
by 2025, most of the money, more money is going to go into live service games than single player games.
they are even telling you that there's 12 live service games in development right now for PlayStation. I'm not saying it's going to be bad or anything like that. That's not fear mongering. We're actually using what PlayStation is saying, and we're breaking it down as far as what they are doing and you know, other examples that happen within the industry. It doesn't make sense for you to be making a move like this to go to PC and then you just using it like it's a back burner kind of thing. No, you're going to eventually adapt it. You're going to eventually go full throttle with it. And we're seeing that each year by year, because I remember arguing with a lot of you guys when me and Persona was telling y'all it's gonna be coming closer. It's gonna be closer day and day. You guys are like, no, it's old games, J-Bar, Persona. It's not, no, but trust me, what PlayStation saying this, that Herman Host just last week telling y'all is at least a year. And then live services will be day and date. And if you guys think that live services games are just gonna be it's just going to be free to play, you are fucking kidding yourself. Look at Gran Turismo. Gran Turismo 7 is a live service game. MLB The Show is a live service game. I'm not saying that it's not going to have free to play games. I'm not saying they're going to be, the PlayStation not going to develop free to play games, but majority of them live service joints is going to be premium games that you got to pay for because it's going to be PlayStation quality with it. They're not going to put that shit in no live service. But the ones that they did do live service that were free to play, or heck, not even free to play. You still had to pay like $30, $40. You guys didn't even play. You didn't play the what was that asymmetric like 3D game? It's not Alienation, but it was something else.
In space, the one in space?
Yeah, it was like in space. You could do like,
it was like Destiny, but top down.
Yeah, top down.
Yeah. Helldivers.
Yeah, Helldivers. You ain't buy that joint. There's another one that they did too, where you ended up like a monster. You could turn into a monster. It was a lot of these live service games PlayStation was doing, and y'all ain't supporting them shits. You know what I mean? Yep. So this is the reason why they're doing the PC joints, and this is the reason why they're doing all the things that they're doing. You know what I mean? So
the problem is that people are mistaking what you guys are saying when you guys state that they're prioritizing PC porting as well. People think that means that it's PC first and PlayStation 5 second.
No, I'm not saying
the case. They're doing is they're bringing PC up to the same prioritization as the PlayStation 5 version of the game. So whether you think that's a detriment to it or not, it's up to you. But
yeah, like at the end of the day, I'm sick and tired of people saying that it's like fear mongering because they're trying to say that your argument doesn't care. Your point of view, it doesn't matter. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's how they cope and feel better. Like, this is how I feel better about what you're saying. Is that you're just a fear monger. You don't know what you're talking about. Nah, man.
Let me break it down. Let me put it this way for the audience in the chat. All right, when Sony made PS1 games, the developers made for the PS1, and that's pretty much it. When PS2 came out, okay, this is the PS2. The first party made PS2 games. They focused on PS2, and that's pretty much it. When the PS3 came out and they said, hey, we're going to have the cell processor. All right, fuck it, cell processor. Hell, I remember in the interview, some of the developers didn't even know it was going to be a cell processor. They didn't actually get their hands on the dev kits till it was already done. Like, they had no say. That was the reason why we got Mark Cerny. I don't know if you guys know that. That was the reason why they hired Mark Cerny for the PS4, because they changed their model. First-party developers didn't even know what the PlayStation was going to do until after it was built. They would literally, for the PS1, PS2, PS3, it would just be hardware engineers and Ken Kutaragi. They would be like, yep, done. hey, first party developers, here you go. And the developers are like, all right, fuck it. And they would just build the game for PS3 and do the same for PS4. So PS1, PS2, PS3, PS4, that's all they had to worry about. Now with PS5, it's not like that. Now it's, hey, we got PS5 hardware. Oh, by the way, developer, the game's going to come on PC too. All right. So, in my mind, in my skill sets, I'm going to worry about PC and all this stuff I'm going to do too. That's not fear-mongering, but you guys cannot think that the first party is going to do what they did on the PS1, PS2, PS3, PS4 and just work the same way on the PS5. No, they have there's a new dynamic to the PlayStation environment now. And with PC at it, it changed things. It's going to change how they move forward in terms of creating games. I just can't logically think any of you can actually think the first-party developers are going to do the same exact processes and logic and way of thinking in making games in an era where they only had to worry about the console, but yet they're still going to do status quo business when they know these games are coming out on PC. I just don't know how you guys could just reasonably think about that. Magnum Visuals, he says, this whole PC thing may be temporary to offset the loss from the chip shortages because projected game sales numbers must be realized for investors. Oh, man. All right, let's play your game, Magnum. All right, let's pretend that was the reason why this caused the PC movement. Let's pretend because, you know, not enough PlayStation 5 consoles go out there, so they're using PC as a, what would be a good word? Augment, a crutch. We'll use that term, a crutch. You know, for chip shortages. So now they put their games on PC because of this chip shortage. And they're using it as a crutch. But now they see all these extra money sells. So now you're getting this extra revenue on PC. You're getting all this extra money. Now, the chip shortage got resolved. So now your PS5 is on track. Hell, even doing better for console sales. Do you think they're going to be like, man, all this great money we're getting from PC, we're just going to shut it down just because? No, they're going to keep it. Because they're still going to get their console sales. And now they're still going to get their money from PC. They're not going to let it go. So it's not like, oh, we're making temporary money, but we're going to shut it down. No, they're going to keep that money going. There's no reason for them. Like, why would a company shut down a revenue stream? You know, sure, let's pretend your scenario is started out as a crutch, but now that their console's back online, they're probably still going to want to keep that PC money. Hell, they're probably going to try to figure out how to make more PC money. Because again, remember, Sony said they did not get any backlash from PlayStation gamers. So in their minds, nobody has a problem with this on PlayStation. Really, us who are talking about it, we're a fly. We're less
than 1%.
Yeah, we're like that little gnat.
Very small.
We're like that little gnat that the horses be, snapping at. That's all we are. Little pesky flies.
The perfect example is the Last of Us remake. Everybody on Twitter was mad. Majority, like you could say 99%, but still sold a fuck ton because majority of people, the actual people that buy these games, they're not on Twitter. They don't give a shit.
Yeah, Emmanuel, hit me up on ¿cómo se dice? On Twitter. Let me see. Okay, yeah, all right, hold on. Give me a second. Dame un momentos.
Un momento, por favor.
Yeah. Give me 1 minute. I got you, bro.
Yeah.
All right. I got you, bro. We're gonna have now I'm telling you, bro, you can make yourself look good or you can make yourself look bad. All right? That's all on you.
What you gonna do?
All right.
I'm not misconstruing anything. If you say that we are fear-mongering, you're the one misconstruing.
No, we got hey, you know how it is, Bari. Well, it's all different when they step on the mic. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's saying that I'm misconstruing his statement, but I'm not the one telling people that they're fear-mongering.
All right, we're about to find out. We're gonna put him on the mic. We got a new challenger. Now we got you, bro. Like I said, man, anybody could jump on this. You know what I'm saying? Give me a second. I'm gonna send you an invite over Discord. Boom. In fact, let me do this because fucking Call Me Jay showed me this last time.
Hell yeah!
You showed me this last time. I still keep doing this dumb shit. Hold on.
I forget about it too. Honestly, I just do a server invite sometimes.
Yeah. But I remember.
forget.
Yeah. Oh shit. Hold on. Oh shit. My dumbass. Fuck. I closed my Discord. Well, it's still running in the background, but hold on. Give me a second. All right. So, hey, chat, you got one of your champions. He's gonna come in. He's gonna shut this bullshit down. Okay. Here we go. Invite people. Here you go. I'm gonna send you. What's this? You see, you can also use this. I think this will put you in the chat directly. But if you already accepted my invite, jump into where it says 60 FNL waiting room. Jump in there, chat, you got your champion. He's ready.
Open the gates.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, all
right, got him.
Yo,
got him. Oh, he's here.
I don't think anybody fear mongering because if you really knew us, our love for PlayStation is very deep. You know what I mean? We're very passionate about PlayStation.
So shout out. All right.
And if you don't like a company doing a certain thing or you don't agree with it, it doesn't hurt you or anyone to speak out that you don't like it. You don't have to accept everything that the company is doing.
Let me tell you something. This is not the RDX version of PlayStation. We are not the RDP podcast. All right? We will thrash our brand.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Where we got you? E4 Extreme?
How are you, man? How are you guys?
Hey, how you doing, kind sir?
That'd be good, man.
Very good. Can you guys hear yourselves? Because I've got to fix a few things. Is it good? All good?
No, we got you.
Yeah, we.
Where you from? Where you from? Extreme?
Australia.
Oh shit, he's from the down under. So you traveling all around the world.
Hey, listen, man,
you out here trying to whoop my ass from halfway around the world.
Listen. You guys are talking a lot of smack, and I just want to buy by it.
Okay,
hey, there you go.
All right. So go ahead. So state your grievances.
You wanted a logical reason as to why they wouldn't compromise.
Okay.
Listen, PC is what 1/20th of the player pool, 1/30th depending on the game. Why would I take a game that sells 25 million on the PlayStation?
Okay.
And then think to myself, okay, I'm making the sequel. I expect it to sell just as well or even better. Why would I then go and say, you know what? There's this 1 million other people over there. Man, let's cater to them. Because when a developer goes to Sony headquarters and you say, hey guys, just got a new dev kit in. Can't do much about it now because we're halfway through a project like Ragnarok. We already started. We're not going to go back to the drawing board and think, oh, let's just start this thing from scratch again. Fair. Okay. But then let's go for the next game. Now we've got all of this. We know the hardware. We know all of it. Here are the cool ideas we can implement now. Here are the things that we couldn't have done before. Oh no, now let's take a break and let's think about PC. Let's limit ourselves again. No, what they're going to do is do everything that they want to do on the PS5, and then whoever job it is to port that is going to figure it out, because the players, the vast majority of sales are still going to be on the play. Like it's not even half of the player pool. So now if you say to me, well, 8-10 years from now, PC and PS5, listen, they are going to be nearly the same. It's going to sell 20 million on PS5. It's going to sell 20 million on PC or something thereabouts. Then I would say, okay, that makes sense. PC will be a serious consideration for the next games going forward. So if you're telling me in the PlayStation 6 generation, man, this PC thing is going to seriously be a factor, I believe you. But for now, there is no way I will compromise my product for a fraction of the player pool.
Right,
so why put it on that platform if that's your argument?
So let me ask you this: besides putting a platform,
Jay Barry, I told you this like when I jumped in your podcast like a year ago. It was a Halo Infinite one, but I did tell you that games going to PC is just to make them extra money. That's all that it is. It's bonus money. It's I've already done this. It cost me like 10.
You're telling me stuff that I already know that, but I'm basing it. I'm going off of what you just stated to us. if it's such a small player pool, or why he's saying why would they compromise anything? Why put it on the platform in the first place?
Because it makes extra money. Like, what else do you need? Like, what do you want me to tell you?
So let me ask you this. Let me ask you this.
Yeah, go ahead.
So actually, let me ask you this. I'm your boss. You're my developer, right?
Sure.
And I'm saying, hey, you're gonna make a PS5 game, but your game will be on PC 18 months after it launches. It will be on PC. I'm giving you the dates. I'm telling you what to do. Your game will launch this date. 18 months later, we'll put it on PC. You're going to tell me you're going to develop the game strictly on PS5 with no consideration of the PS5 port, even though I told you it better come out. It's got to come out 18 months. Why would you do that? And I'm talking to you not as a fan, as a PlayStation. Listen, hold up. Wait. I'm going to give you stipulations. You are not a fan of PlayStation. You are my employee. Your job is to make the games so I can make money. So give me a logical reason as a worker why you will not consider PC as part of your strategy to make sure it launches and 18 months later it will launch properly.
Because what is the first priority of my job as a first-party worker under you?
To make games for me.
To sell your console. No. Listen. First-party games don't even have to sell a lot. All they have to do is sell a console. If a person bought a PlayStation 4 for some reason for Concrete Genie, then Concrete Genie achieved its first and primary purpose in life. That is to sell the console, because from there you buy things on the ecosystem. That's the entire point.
All right. So
making money on PC does not supersede the first and primary purpose of a PlayStation first-party game, which is to sell the PlayStation console. Because if it wasn't just to sell the PlayStation console, they would have released games on PC for eons now, because then money is just money. But the console is important because the console begets more money. That is the first and most important imperative. That's why games like Concrete Genie still get made, because really they don't have to sell 10 million. They just have to sell it to like the few 100,000 that would not have bought the console otherwise. Like whether those are like little kids that the parents wouldn't have bought the console for if they didn't see Concrete Genie. Like that's all they need to do. So that's why when a lot of people say, first party games don't sell as much, there's like 120 million PlayStations out there and there's only like X amount sold for this particular exclusive. It's like, well, that doesn't really matter, because as long as that exclusive got like 100,000, 1 million, maybe even 5 million gamers that wouldn't have bought the console otherwise, and then a percentage of those start using PlayStation as a primary ecosystem, it did its job. So no, like I wouldn't consider like PC because that would then reduce my impact on the most important thing I do.
So I'm gonna help you out. So number one, I told you the game's coming out on PC 18 months. So the decision of we have to worry about console, I already gave you your orders. It's going to PC. That's not an option. Yeah, I just told. I literally listen. Just because the fans don't know. Remember, this is a business conversation. I'm talking to you about your job.
When you're talking about fans, did I mention fans? No, did I say I like?
But the thing is, you're talking as if you're trying to appease the fans. I just told you this game is a multi-plat.
No. I told you as if I'm trying to appease the business. I told you what is the primary purpose of a PlayStation first-party game. Do you deny what it is?
Your job
your job as a developer, that's not your job. That's my job. I'm the publisher. Your job is to make games. That's your job. Your job is not to worry about the business aspect. That's why we have publishers.
Well, then my point. If my job is to make games, then I just want to make the best game that I can.
But that's fine. That's fine. But I am giving you direction on your job. You are a developer, and as a developer, I just told you.
Okay, but your direction didn't tell me how to make my game. Okay. You said this game is coming out on PC.
So let me put it this way. Let me put it this way. Let me put it this. All right. So now let's say you don't. I just gave you guidance, but let's say you decided to say, "Hey, I'm just gonna focus on PS5." Let's say because I don't know. Then 18 months later, I go to Nix's. I'll be like, "Yo, Nix's, this game's supposed to come out in 3 months. We have to delay. Why? Well, Extreme, he completely focused on PS5, so we have these issues." And I'm like, "Yo, Extreme, I told you I needed this game to come in 18 months. So why is Nix's having all these problems?"
Hold on. You can't be like changing what you're saying. Okay?
I didn't change what I said.
Let me make sure I understand you. You tell me, Extreme, you're the game developer.
Yes.
Okay. Here's this game.
You work for me.
This thing's going to PC in 18 months.
18 months after releases.
That's what you tell me, yes?
That's it, yes.
That's what you tell me,
Yes.
Yes? Okay,
Yes.
good. I understand now. And I go and I develop my game, right?
Yeah.
And let's say that I develop in such a way that it makes it difficult to port to PC.
Yeah.
So you come back to me in 18 months and you're like, hey, what's up? And I'll be like, I did what you told me because I developed the game and you told me it was going to PC. You didn't say it was my job to make sure it was easy to port to PC. That's not my job.
Okay.
You didn't tell me to develop it for PC.
Okay.
Did you tell me to develop it?
All right, so this is what
Wait, are you telling me that I have to develop it for PC? Yes or no?
No.
Well then, why would I care?
Okay, so
it's someone else's job. If they can't do their job, find better people to do that job.
You are absolutely right. You're fired.
Okay.
Now you're fired. Now Jay Barry, hey, your next game is coming 18 months after your release. What are you gonna do? Jay Barry there?
I'm gonna tell you.
What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna tell you.
I'm your boss. I'm giving you checks. You driving that Ferrari because of me. And I'm telling you, hey, your game is going to come out on PC 18 months. How are you going to develop that game? You just saw me fire this guy.
Yeah, I'm going to ask questions as far as how you want me to develop the game.
I need this game to come out 18. You the expert. But make the game so that way when my studios are able to release that version in 18 months. That's what I need. That's what I need from you. I need you to make sure when you develop your game, these guys can release it in 18 months. Because the game needs to come out 18 months on PC. So what you gonna do? You gonna focus on PS5? And you're gonna pretend like, oh, you didn't give me
instructions.
But no, listen. But no, no, it's not. Listen,
it's not. It's not.
Listen, let me put it this way.
It's not. Now you're telling Jay Barry, hey,
because
make
you know
sure
the
that
problem.
these guys have an easy time. That's not what you said to me.
Extreme. The problem is.
I mean, that's what we're seeing with God of War Ragnarok.
No, Extreme. The problem is Extreme. No, Extreme. The problem is you won't let go the fan side. If I'm working for Sony, this is the real.
This fan side, man.
No, but that's what you're doing. No, that's what you're doing. Because if I work for Sony, listen. If Sony,
the thing is, you tell me, Extreme. I'm the PlayStation developer. Develop this game. It's coming out in PC. Okay, I'm gonna develop as a PlayStation developer because that's my job.
No,
my job is to sell this game on PlayStation. That's my job. If you have someone else making it on PC, then that person's job is to take the game and put it on PC. No. Now, if you're telling me, hey, listen, your studio is also going to handle at least part of the PC port, that's a different conversation.
Not even. Because if let's say if the situation was reversed and you gave me that guarantee, you'd be like, hey, yo, Puerto Rock, your new game is great, but we're going to port that 18 months into PC. As a professional developer, I'm going to know, all right, if they're going to try to port this in 18 months, I'm going to make considerations while I'm developing this game because I know how ports are. Because I'm a developer too. So as a professional.
What?
How do you think collaborations work? Do you think that Santa Monica? Do you think that Santa Monica is making God of War and then they're just like telling Valkyrie, just watch me make it, and then you do it yourself? No, they're working together to make sure that it goes smoothly.
Hold on, listen. Just because I'm developing a game primarily for PlayStation doesn't mean that I'm going out of my way to make it difficult to port on PC, right? Like, yes, I can collaborate with someone else. Obviously, but what's my primary focus? Because that's what the issue I had with you guys is that you guys were basically saying, listen, PC development from the onset, from pen to paper, right? It affects the way that a PlayStation 5 game is made. And I'm thinking, not necessarily. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm putting roadblocks in the game to like stop someone from porting into PC. Why would I do that? But my primary purpose is to still focus on the PlayStation. So when you guys say to yourselves, okay, as a gamer, will my PlayStation 5 game be compromised in any way, shape, or form because of the new focus on PC? I say not necessarily. Now, if there is factual evidence, if there is a conversation that is recorded, between Herman Holtz and Cory Barlog, and Cory was like, hey man, guess what? We're gonna make God of War fly with dragons. And they're like, yeah, well, that worked great on PS5, but man, that's just not going to work on the PC. Can't have it. Then you're right, and I'm wrong.
Let me ask you this.
Until we get that,
Let me ask you this. Does PS4 compromise the PS5?
no, it doesn't, and here's why.
Man out the chat.
Because...
All right.
Hey.
All right. Hey, yo.
Hey, I don't like it when
yo.
I don't fully answer your question, man.
Go ahead.
Ask me a question, let me answer it.
Go ahead.
Here's the reason why
Let's hit the cat.
a PlayStation 4 game, sorry, a PlayStation 4 doesn't compromise the PS5. Because in those examples, those were games designed with the PlayStation 4 feature set in mind. All the PlayStation 5 does is take that and enhance it. For example, Horizon Forbidden West, right? Lovely game. Put 70 hours into it. I'm going to put more into it. Played on PlayStation 5, but they're still popping. You know, there are still issues where I'm like, this is clearly a last generation game that has been souped up for the PlayStation 5.
All right.
I don't mind that because
you just counteracted your argument.
Yeah.
I know, right?
So PlayStation 4 does hold back
finish.
PS5.
No.
Yeah.
PlayStation 4
there's even no point to finish because you
5 games, right? Because the thing is, Forbidden West was never a PlayStation 5 game to begin with. It was born as a PlayStation 4 game.
All right.
Does that make sense?
So you Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man 2 is a PS5. No,
no,
I got him. Hold on. No, I got him.
It's marketed for PS5.
I got him. Listen, I got him. No, I'll use this. No, hold on. I use this. Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man 2 is a PS5 game, right?
Sure, yeah.
That means it can't run on a PS4, correct? It shouldn't be.
So, yeah.
Because it's built from the ground up. So now, with that logic, right?
Yeah.
If Spider-Man 2 comes out on PC and it runs on a 1060, which is equivalent to PS4, wouldn't that mean they always had a weaker PC in mind then? Because if it can't run on a PS4, it shouldn't run on a 1060 either.
And what makes you think it's going to?
What? Because that's the target group they're going to go for on PC. They're not going to make PC games to run on super high-end platforms because that's not the majority of the audience. That's not the majority of the audience.
I think that is one of your most salient points, and I fully get that. However, I still believe that it's not what's going to happen. Here's why. Because eventually, PC game parts will eventually get to the minimum spec of the PlayStation 5. So I still would not compromise, and I would just hold Spider-Man back. If, for example, let's say they want to release in 2025, right? So 2 years after it's supposed to come out. And then they think to themselves, listen, the majority of our audience is still beneath the minimum spec that they will need to have a good experience on PC. I don't see why PlayStation wouldn't just hold it back an extra year or two. There is no pressure on them to release Spider-Man 2, especially before Spider-Man 3 has come out. Like, they could just wait long enough until a lot of the PC, maybe not most, but a lot of the PC fan base, a lot of the player pool on PC actually meet the minimum spec of the PS5.
But that's
an option.
So here's the thing. That option is not going to be used because, like I said before, when it comes to PC, Sony doesn't concern with themselves of PC gamers buying hardware because the hardware PC gamers buy.
But if they want to sell to PC, just like you said, they don't want to sell to a small minority of the player pool. Right? I get that. Yeah. But they don't have to design with them in mind because they know that inevitably that player pool is going to catch up. So it's a question then of whether you believe they will have the patience for that.
They won't have the patience.
You believe
from a business perspective.
I said they will have the patience.
Why?
Because there is no pressure on them to release on PC.
Why?
They have no pressure. They haven't said to any PC, "Hey, you will get games within 3 years."
It's not pressure. The only metric is money.
Exactly.
It's not a
and they can always make up that money later. They've released Zero Dawn.
That's not how it works, bro.
No, that's not how it works. We haven't seen an example of it.
We're seeing. Listen,
we've seen an example. We've seen an example of the opposite.
Listen.
Extreme.
Let's look at the facts.
We've seen an example of the opposite. We've seen an example of them ramping up releasing games because it's selling. What are you talking about? They're not gonna suddenly hold on. Now you let me finish. They're not gonna suddenly slow down their releases on PC just because the people on PC can't keep up. They've been ramping up the releases of PS4 games on PC, and they're just gonna keep going up. It doesn't matter if
it's 4 or 5. No, Extreme. Here are the facts. No, here's the facts. I'm just gonna talk straight up dates and facts. Horizon Zero Dawn came out 2017, released on PC 2020. God of War came out 2018, released on PC when last year? When did it release on PC?
Yep.
Okay. We already have Miles Morales came out in 2020. The day PlayStation 5 launch is coming out to PC in this fall. That's 2 years. Returnals already, which came out last year, PS5 only, confirmed PC port already. The time, yes, PC port because they talked about in GDC. So the timing of these games
as well.
The Little Big Planet also. If you notice, the PC timeline is condensing.
Listen, P-Walk, I follow your videos. I follow Jabari. I know all these things, okay?
So then what are you talking about?
Then why are you talking like you don't?
Hey, let me answer then. Jesus.
Go ahead.
Thank you. Here's the answer. There is still no force, no external pressure on Sony to not go on a case-by-case basis. It's not exactly what Herman said. So if they go, let's say, the next God of War after Ragnarok, and it's on PS5, and it releases on PC exactly a year, later, because it can do that, because it can run on the 1060 or whatever card, And then for Spider-Man 2, it can't do that. Well, then they can still just release God of War and still keep Spider-Man 2 back. They have the flexibility. So a game doesn't have to be designed with PC in mind as a hindrance, because depending on the case-by-case basis, some games might go to PC sooner than others, because again, they've put themselves in a really good position. They can be flexible enough to release a game quickly, if it can be done quickly, if it's in the best advantage to do so, or if it's not going to provide a good experience on PC, they're flexible enough to just keep holding on to it until it can. I don't see what the issue is.
All right, so you said there's
the issue is that you're wrong.
No, hold up. No,
like I said,
so I'm showing you the external.
How do you explain?
No, listen, I'm showing them the external force that's putting pressure. This is right here.
Extreme. How do you explain them ramping up the releases of their games then? If they can hold back because of whatever reason. No, Little Big Planet Sackboy isn't a PS4 game. Hold on.
Okay, but Little Big Planet
Returnal is not a PS4 game, sir. It's a PS5 game only.
Let me know when I can answer you then.
Go ahead. How do you explain Returnal coming to PC?
I want you to answer how you contradicted yourself answering the question that PS4 game doesn't.
I know.
Listen,
that's what I want.
Here it is. PlayStation 5 games such as Sackboy and Returnal probably do not require as much horsepower or as many PlayStation 5 specific features as some other games might. Again, we are talking about hypotheticals. So when you guys tell me I'm wrong for a hypothetical, I'm like, how do you prove that? But whatever. That is my answer. So if Sackboy can run on the 960 really easily, of course you port it early or earlier. You port it as soon as possible or as soon as whatever time frame you want. If Spider-Man 3, for example, is going to be a lot more demanding on the PC hardware front, you can hold on to it. I'm not disagreeing with you guys. I'm just saying that this notion that they will release as quick as they can, therefore they have to design it from the beginning as quickly as possible for PC.
Bro, Herman Ho said it.
He said case by case basis. Did he not?
No. What are you talking about? You talking about cross-generation or PC?
No, PC releases will be on a case-by-case basis.
No, he didn't.
No, he said PS4.
Oh my god.
He said No, he didn't say PC. He said PS4. It's case by case basis.
He said PC.
Two different things.
It will be at least a year where it goes on that platform. And live service games will be day and date with PlayStation and PC. That's what he said, sir.
I get it, sir.
And that's
why you don't get it. You don't get it. You saying that you get it, but you don't get it.
That's why I gave you a scenario that if you were a developer and I told you that, hey, there's going to be a PC release.
That changes nothing.
Let him finish, bro.
No, it does change because, again, if I'm making a game for PS5, but I know there's going to be a PC version just 18 months after my game release, I'm going to do right with the development process so that way multi-platform porting can be done easier. This is the shit EA does, Rockstar does, Ubisoft does, Square Enix. You know?
They don't have just a console to sell.
No, but this is why I brought up God of War Ragnarok and how it has 9 developers developing the game because they want that game to be easier to port over to PC in the year time.
The primary purpose?
Because it's all PC developers that they bought the studio for porting PC games.
That is why those people are there. What if they just needed the extra
extreme?
They bought the studio to port PC games. What they bought Valkyrie games for?
Are they not developers? Can they help?
Bruh.
They specialize on porting, dog.
Okay,
that's their bread and butter.
Stop yelling at me, mate.
Right, so why did PlayStation buy Nixus? Tell me. Are they going to make a new game for PS5?
No, to port games to PC.
All right, that's what I'm telling you. The developers that were on that listed, we gone gold, are PC developers that PlayStation
so if I come to you in a year, right, and they haven't released God of War Ragnarok, at least exactly 1 year later, then I'm right and you're wrong.
I'm not saying it's going to be 1 year later. I'm going off of what Herman Host said. He said at least a year. That doesn't mean it's going to be a year. He said at least a year.
I don't have a problem with what he said. Like, what I have a problem with is that you guys are saying, now that this is the new mantra, this is the new direction, we are going to get compromised products on PlayStation 5. I'm saying it's not necessary.
I didn't say anything.
What I said is we're not going to get PS5 focused games anymore, and I stand by that. Because from a professional developer, right? It doesn't make sense that your game is going to be on multiple architectures, yet you're still going to use the same process of a single architecture. That doesn't make sense. I wouldn't do that to myself on the PS if I was a developer. It doesn't make sense.
Or the Army, right? Or the Navy,
Marines,
right? Marines. Thank you, by the way. You have different priority levels, right, in your job. If there was an emergency, there are certain things that have to come before another thing, right? Yes, you would like to do them all, but I'm sure there are things that matter more than others. Same thing, I believe, for a PlayStation first party. PC matters now, yes, more than it ever has, but it matters nowhere near as much as making sure the PlayStation sells. So I am not going to compromise anything on the PlayStation console front because my primary purpose is and will forever remain to sell that console. If there is a feature that prevents a game from going to PC, in many ways that is a selling point that Sony can use and be like, hey guys, we told you this SSD truly mattered. If you want to match it up, this is the minimum spec. And if you don't like it, get a PlayStation.
So here's my question to you.
Yeah.
How do you know that a game did or didn't take full advantage of the PS5 if Sony never showed you? That's why I said you will never know.
That is a great question.
That's what I'm saying. You will never know.
You asked it before. Here's my answer to it. Just like I don't know, because I'm not in the room, I'm not in the designing, wherever they designed the game in the first place, that a game has been compromised for PC, then I can't also validate the opposite. I can't say that this game going to PC is the thing that stopped it from having X or having Y.
I can. And the reason why I say I can is because that's how multi-platform studios create the games with efficiency, and they are able to make the game. That's how. Listen. They all follow similar procedures, right? Because if you have to have multiple games and they have to release at a certain time frame, whether it's day and day or offset, you're gonna start. And I use Rockstar as a best example because I think the closest example to Sony at this point in this stage is Rockstar. Yep. Rockstar, when they make their main games, they don't release all the games day and date. They release the console version first, and then a year later, they release the PC version. Sure. But from the moment they start building that game from scratch, they have PC in mind all the way through. Yeah. But they release the console version first, right? And then they release a year later the PC version. They don't just make the console version and ignore the PC, and then once they're done with the console version, now we can work on the PC and have it ready a year later. No, because that would be a disaster. Because chances are you'll be like, holy shit, we didn't realize all the issues. Hey, we can't get the PC version done a year from now. We just can't. Because you didn't plan from the beginning to do it. You got to look at it. That's why I asked you from a professional job perspective, what sense would it make if you know a game's going to come out and the company's telling you it's going to come out on another platform? Why won't you consider from the beginning, we're going to do this right so that way we can release our game on this date And we set the stage for it to come out when our boss tells us it needs to come out on this date. You know, that's multi-platform development.
Yo, P-Rock, I fully understand your point. Okay, I just want to make that clear. However, the only difference between Rockstar and, let's say, a Naughty Dog, right? In this case, is that Naughty Dog is first party. So Rockstar doesn't have the priority of selling the console first and foremost. Therefore, when they get to the designing board, they're like, hey, these are platforms. Here's Xbox, here's PC, here's PlayStation, here's Switch, I guess. And this is the way that we're going to go about designing things from the get-go. Everything that you're saying is right. The only difference is that Naughty Dog says to themselves, okay, here's PlayStation, here's PC. Now, here are the compromises we could make if we want to release on both as easy as possible, okay? But what is our utmost priority? Well, sell the console. And therefore, they are still going to prioritize and keep the focus, because that was your point, right? The focus is still going to be on the console.
Let me ask you this.
I think that is the only difference that matters.
So let me ask you this. So your point is, you still think the developers, their priority is the PS5?
Yeah.
So let's say like Neil Druckmann, his priority is PS5, making games for PS5. Then why is he directing episodes of The Last of Us TV show, which is not even a game?
Man, I don't know.
Hold on, before you continue, there's some.
No. The reason why I'm saying this is because if you think that's their focus and that's how they're working, then Neil Druckmann shouldn't be directing shows. Hold on. His ass should be making games.
Listen.
Why is he making shows?
Neil doesn't make the game by himself, right? So is it possible that in his schedule he can direct games and like have a life outside of like gaming or working at?
He said he got a hobby.
This is not a hobby.
Yeah, he got like a side hustle.
This is not.
If you tell me, hold on. If you told me Naughty Dog,
this man's a politician, boy,
was making the TV show, the entire studio is like all hands on deck. They're like making like Last of Us animated series, right? Then I'd be like, yeah, we've got an issue. But it's not the entire studio, so what do you want me to say? Like, I don't know.
Also, Naughty Dog is making the port for what you call it, for Last of Us.
What I'm saying is, PC. The Neil Druckmann working for Sony is directing an episode of The Last of Us, which is not a game, meaning that they do what the studio and what Sony wants them to do. That's the point I'm trying to make. They're gonna do ultimately what makes the most money for their company.
Do you think that Herman forced him to go to the TV show and be like, hey, you're working on this?
No, what I think is that I think that they all agree, hey, we're gonna make the most money because ultimately that's what the company wants. So if the company wants a port, 18 months on PC, 12 months on PC, 2 years on PC. We're going to develop the game, and we're going to make sure it's developed in a way for multi-platform strategy
to meet the company goals. Ask me questions.
Hold on. I have a question. There's someone in the waiting room. Hold on, bro. There's someone in the waiting room.
Who's in the waiting room? Oh, shit, Clutch is in here. All right.
Sir Clutch. Yeah, bro. He's been waiting.
All right, there you go. I threw him in. Hey, Clutch, you in.
All right, go ahead, Extreme.
So my question for you, P-Rock, is how do we resolve this, right? This little debate that we're having.
There's no
focus is going to be on PlayStation 5. You say, no, the focus is going to be shifted in a significant way, right, to PC. How do we come to...
No. I didn't say no. All right, let me help you. I didn't say the focus is going to be PC. I said they're going to go from single-platform developer to multi-plat developer. There is no how it's a fact. You make a game for more than one platform, you're multi. This is not an opinion. If you make games for more than one platform, you are a multi-plat developer. That's what multi-plat developers do.
Okay, but what if you make the game for PlayStation and then someone else ports it? Are you still a multi-plat developer?
Yes, because listen, EA. Listen, all right, let me help you out. I'll use Activision as example. When they make Call of Duty, you got Sledgehammer Games, whatever, right? But Sledgehammer Games, they got teams to. I'll even use a better example. MLB The Show. San Diego Studios is a multi-plat developer. They have a team that focuses on the Xbox version. They have a team that focuses on the Switch version, and they got the team that focuses on the PlayStation version. But because they all have to work on these different versions, the heart of it is, hey, when we build this game, it's got to work for our teams developing these ports and versions. San Diego Studios, hold on. San Diego Studios, despite being a first-party Sony studio, they are a multi-plat developer. They make games for multiple consoles.
Yeah, sure. Because they have the teams in-house to do those ports.
Yes.
What I'm saying is, if a Naughty Dog, just as an example, okay, I don't know. If they don't have a team in-house that makes the port, are they considered a multi-platform developer?
I would say Sony as a publishing studio, yes. Because guess what?
Well, Sony, yes.
No, but I would say Naughty Dog. Because I would say yes, and this is the reason why. Because again, if I'm your boss, and I'm telling you, Naughty Dog, that your game's going on PC, you're going to do the professional thing and create the environment so that way this game can be easily ported to PC. That is your job. You're going to be a professional about it because you know how difficult it is reporting. You're a developer. You're going to make the environment to say, hey, we're going to make sure our games can be easily ported to PC. You're not going to be like, I understand my boss said going to PC, but screw him anyway. I'm just going to focus on PS5 and everybody else could worry about whatever. No, you're going to be a professional.
But I don't understand why, like, I will have to say screw you anyway to say that my priority
I'm just doing that as a joke. I'm doing that as a joke. I'm being facetious. What I'm saying is, as a professional, if I know as a professional my game's going to PC, then I'm going to create the environment for multi-platform support. So that's professional. It's professional. One is professional. Right? Two is efficient.
Can I insert some thought into this argument that I feel like nobody has mentioned?
All right, go ahead. This Clutch, what's up?
So what's up, guys? It's been a while. I've only been on this podcast once, but so I understand both sides of the argument. And one side, yes, they do have to focus, and that's definitely true. I agree with that, with what Puerto Rock is saying. Development is a multi-year, like we all know this, takes very long, it's very complicated. They can't just snap their fingers and port it to PC in a couple months. But at the same time, I don't feel like just because they have to focus on PC, they have to sort of like lose focus on the PS5. We're forgetting that the PS5 is essentially just a PC. Like, it legit uses the same architecture. So like the PS5 might as well already be a PC. Like, all you have to do is just take advantage of the few like specific hardware that Sony developed, like the 3D audio and stuff like that. But like outside of that, the graphics is AMD x86 like hardware.
Yeah, it's a Linux.
It's legit PC. The same thing. So like porting is not the same thing as like porting from PS3. And this is something that I first caught while that Mystic mentioned. I'm sure you guys know him on YouTube. Like, one of the biggest reasons why porting from PS4 games to PC became a thing is because it was so financially viable to port those games to PC because it's the same architecture. It doesn't take as much effort as PS3 did. So in that same vein, like developing for PS5 is already developing for PC. So yes, they've been considering PC for a while because of that. It doesn't like... No. In my opinion, I don't think it makes the PS5 any less focused because it's already a PC.
So here's my point though. When you port to PC, you're going to port to the minimum spec, meaning these games are going to be built to the minimum spec. That's why I said, and I keep asking, does PS4 hold back PS5 games? And we all agree, yes, it will hold back PS5 games, right? For sure. So will a 1060 hold back PS5 games? If you want the game to run on a 1060. Yes,
I think it does. I think it does.
It. I could maybe understand
the PS4 hold back PS5 games.
It does.
But the point is, it doesn't because those are PS5 games. No. It wouldn't run on the PS4 in the first place.
No, but that's my point. What I'm trying to say. That's the point I'm trying to say. If you focus and you make a game built from the ground up on PS4, it's not going to work on the PS4. I hope I said that right. I hope
PS5 to PS4.
Yeah, PS5, PS4. So if you build like Demon's Souls, built from the ground up, is not going to work on the PS4. You're going to have to make...
Okay, sure.
You see what I'm saying? You see?
So how can PS4 hold it back if it doesn't release on the platform?
But what I'm trying to say is, if that PS5 exclusive runs on a 1060, that means that game was never built with PS5 from the ground up in mind. It was built.
But in that case, it will also be a PS4 game.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, but that's assuming they want to move away from PS4.
So are you thinking because of PC, we are now going to get PS5 games that have been lowered in the feature set.
I know
because they want to hit that.
What I'm saying, if PC is going to be a consideration, right? They're going to go with the minimum spec of the PC. That's going to set the bar. That's going to set the bar. Yep. So you got minimum spec PC, PS5, and then everything else is just bells and whistles.
Whatever,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, okay.
Bells and whistles, right? That's just how it is. Now the question is, we will probably never know the full capability of PS5. Like I said, we won't know.
But here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. When they're designing this game, like when they're just at the drawing board and they're like, what feature set do we want to use? What do we want to utilize? And then they're cross-referencing that with like the 1060 or whatever minimum spec they're targeting for PC. What I'm thinking is, depending on the game, they're going to say, hey, guess what? We can't hit the 1060 on the PlayStation, on the PC side, sorry. We need it to be a 2080, right? Just as an example, okay? What you're saying is, I think what you're saying is, they're going to do their best to go down, right? That PC side. They're going to be like, wait, well, right now with this feature set, 2080 is the minimum. We need to move that closer to the 1060. Therefore, that also like lowers the PlayStation 5 like potential. What I'm saying is they'll go like, nah, screw it. We're just going to wait until 2080 is the minimum spec. Then we'll release it on PC.
All right. So this is the reason why I disagree with you, is because right now, majority of PC gamers are on 1060. They're introducing the 4000 series cards now. And these guys, and majority of PC gamers are still on the 1060. They're not even on the 1080. They're not going to wait because you know how many years they're going to have to wait for that? It will the PS7 5 years. The PS7 they're not even on the 1080 Ti. The 1080 Ti is not even average.
They won't be on the 20 series?
No, the average guy is not going to be on the 2080 in 5 years. Think about it. They're not even. When did the 1080 Ti came out?
Okay, but this is my point again, right? Like, this is then me making a lot of compromises for only 1 or 2 million gamers that are eventually going to buy this game on PC. I will say no. Like, I don't need everybody or even the majority of PC people to be at my minimum spec. All I need is a significant portion of them that I believe I will still sell 1 or 2 million. So I still wouldn't compromise it because the numbers just don't make sense. If I can sell 30 million on the PlayStation 5 with this awesome feature set that has never been done before, why would I consider or lower for 2 or 3 million on the PC side? That's not equivalent.
Here's the thing. Number one, again, the fans don't know if a game's been maxed out on PS5 or not. We don't know that. All we see is they want to push that power because their primary purpose is still to sell the console. This is an Xbox that doesn't care about the console. No. So what Sony wants to do is sell games, and right now, remember they already sell consoles, right? They already said that they got no negative feedback of reporting the games on PC.
Okay, but wait,
no one's against this.
Let's agree on this. They want to sell consoles, right? Like that's their ultimate goal.
Yeah,
because consoles begets more games, right?
Yeah.
And the primary avenue of market differentiation is the first party, right?
Yeah.
Just like the Switch. Okay, cool. So then if you're telling me, people, like this is you, right? You've got a feature set that is awesome and can only be done on PlayStation 5, okay? But then the equivalent on that on PC is going to be like super high end, okay? Like maybe 1% of the PC fan base has it now, okay? And then you're looking at the numbers going, okay, well, we can sell to 30 million people today, or we can adjust and compromise for maybe 2 or 3 million sales. What would you do? Wouldn't you go for the guaranteed 30 million with the market differentiated feature set?
Let me ask you something. If Spider-Man 2 came out and didn't have market differentiated feature set, it won't sell?
It will sell.
Exactly.
Of its name.
Exactly.
Definitely.
Why? But that's what I'm saying. The point I'm saying is if you have a good looking game, the only people that truly, you think 30 million gamers see market differentiation titles. You really think that many people see what we talk about? No, we're a very niche group. The majority, they just want to see a good-looking, great game. Like the stuff we're talking about, very few people actually give a shit about. In fact, here's the reality. The majority of the money PlayStation gets isn't even on game sales. It's goddamn money transaction.
Microtransactions.
Yeah. It's microtransactions. It's not even games. It's shitty ass. What I'm saying is the majority ain't gonna notice if a game is and Sony knows this. Sony knows this. Sony knows. Listen,
I get it. However, let's
say when Sony releases SOCOM, that shit's gonna sell. Period. And it could be day one on PC it is still going to sell a lot on consoles.
That's why I especially agree for the live service games. Like you know damn well that for that Last of Us Factions game, they're gonna try and make that as compatible as possible, like on PC, so that a lot of people,
especially because it's coming day and date, right?
But I still think that for single player games, like for example, like God of War, whenever it does come to PC, I do think that the primary like focus of development, like for example, currently before it went gold, I do think the PS5 spec is the primary focus. So I think that they'll try and take advantage, because there's no way Sony's not going to try and take the most advantage out of PS5.
In my opinion,
they develop the hardware.
In my opinion,
God of War Ragnarok was a PS4.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest. As far as PS5 taking advantage, it's just gonna be shit like ray tracing, 60 frames, 120 frames, shit like that. Like powerful hardware. It's not gonna be. Well, Mark Cerny said that they're gonna build maps in ways they never did before. We're probably not gonna see a lot of that.
Listen.
If any at all, it's gonna be graphics.
Exactly what I want to see. Actually, I want to see game design that's changed. I think Rift Apart was a close example. It was like a vision into what the future could be. I hope to see more of that. Just a way of designing levels and everything that couldn't have been done before. I want to see that. I think that your point is that because of this PC focus, it's basically going to act as an anchor, basically as if we had carried the PlayStation 4 throughout the entire gen. So we're always going to
overall.
Hey, let me make this one point. So the 1080 Ti came out in 2016, 6 years ago, and that's not the majority, and that shit's 6 years old. Don't bank on 2080 being like the common card.
When PC people like to build their PC.
This card,
that bummy ass PCs can't even run.
Man.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? This card is old as hell, and the majority don't even have it. And this card is old as.
I'm still on the 960 on my PC. I am.
You holding back. You holding back PlayStation, dog. You holding back PlayStation. This is your fault.
Listen.
I blame you.
If I knew, I would have gotten a 4090 like
I blame you.
I would have made it happen. I would have time traveled. Okay.
No, but one thing that I wanted to mention, P-Rock made a good point, was like Mark Cerny definitely made a presentation about the way development could change with like putting the SSD as the primary focus. So like let's say in a vacuum, like platforms only use that kind of technology for us, like for storage, like SSDs. Games would be way more advanced, but at the same time, I don't think it's so like bad news because they have to port to PC. Because if you see SSD prices, when the Gen 3 SSD came out that matched the PS5 spec, like a lot of them at the beginning they came out and they were expensive. But what's happened because of the PS5, especially, you have a lot of consumers buying SSDs, making the prices go down, and at the same time, basically widening the adoption rate. So what was that gonna like cost? Like developers are gonna start focusing on it way more because of PlayStation. Maybe not like only because of PlayStation, but like PlayStation definitely played a big role into making sure that the adoption for this SSD type speed is adopted more widely. So I think like even if it's slower, we're still gonna like heading towards that, because like the PlayStation 6 is definitely gonna have a faster SSD, and then PCs are gonna like at least be where the PS5 is. I say at least like the majority, and then it's just gonna keep going forward. So I think like the PS5 is helping like making that a standard little by little.
Okay. I would say this. You made a great point.
I would say this. Sony saw the writing on the wall though with the SSD, because now like almost every PC gamer is getting dry. So I think that was just industry already know, because Microsoft did the same thing, right? Even though it's different. Microsoft, think about it. Microsoft conveniently, their console has SSD standard, Sony has SSD standard, and now everybody on PC, I think they just saw what the developers want, what the industry was moving towards. So I think that whole SSD, Sony just went ham with theirs, right? They really went ham. I think theirs is a little bit more longevity, you know, stuff like that.
I mean, look, Sony has always pushed the boundaries when it comes to like the actual medium that we.
But the fact that they pushed the boundaries for that is gonna like help it adopt even faster, because otherwise we would have had SSD at the speed of 2.2 gigabytes per second like Xbox, but we have 5.4. So that's like over twice the speed that we would have otherwise had for most like SSDs. So I think like there's still like, even if it's small, even if it's slower because it's only one platform, it's still making a push for like that kind of like speed of SSDs to be adopted faster.
Right. Hey, let me catch us some super chats.
Go to one thing.
Hold on, let me catch us super chat. So, all right, we got Manuel, we got your chat that says let me in. Then my man Paige said, "Yo, I'm gonna whoop some ass. You know, let me get this ticket out here."
I don't believe your father looking down on you.
Oh, shit.
He said that he had a narcissistic complex. That even when you
who has what? Who what?
My bad. Something started playing in the background.
I'm like, what? I'm a narcissist? I'm like, oh shit, this guy talking shit. I'm like, who the fuck just jumped in the room? Talking, like, listen.
It was my therapist.
Listen, I'm not a narcissist. I'm just Puerto Rican. All right, let's know the difference.
My tab started playing.
All right, my boy Johnson, he's like, yo, this guy's spitting facts. Yo, he's in your corner, Emmanuel. He got your back. Johnson also saying the panel sounds ridiculous. He's right on point. NeoWise, Jetpack Interactive is making a PS5 exclusive, and they're a PC port studio, so what's the point? NeoWise, again, the minimum spec is different for every game, though. That is true. It's a game-by-game basis. And Johnson, once again, he says, new guy 1, panel 0. So you got that one panel member, you got that one chat that agrees with you, dog.
Listen, P-Rock, on this one, you're wrong. It's just what it is.
It ain't wrong. Listen.
I want to go back to one thing you said earlier, though. You said that Spider-Man 2 is going to sell because it's the IP.
Yeah.
And therefore, like, they don't even need to push it out. To push it out. Here's the thing, though. I want to just go by... there's this thing that I've noticed in the PlayStation, like, gaming, YouTube, whatever that we're doing, right? Like, PlayStation gets, like, no chill and gets, like, no benefit of the doubt. Uncharted 4 could have been half of the game that it was, and probably sold 80% of the copies. God of War 2018 could have been half the game that it was, and probably sold like a good half of the copies, at least 50% of that. Like, these developers are more passionate about their games than we will ever be, and they have always pushed the boundaries. So this notion that they will just make Spider-Man 2 at 90% even of what it could potentially be, what they are capable of doing, like, no, I don't believe that, because it's never happened. I've never played the PlayStation first-party exclusive, aside from Concrete Genie, which was lamentable. But aside from that one... Pardon?
Did you platinum it?
No, I hated it. I hated that game. Oh,
what? Come on, man.
Concrete Genie,
Let me say this, all right?
I hated that game.
Concrete Genie was a gem.
But listen, I get why people like it. I just wasn't for me, okay? That's all. But no, what I wanted to say is these developers on PlayStation first party have always pushed the boundaries. So the notion that now that the PC is a mantra, they're going to accept that their baby is going to be held back from what they could potentially do on the console, I just don't believe that. Until it happens, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt.
This is not about whether they treat the console as a baby. That's not really it, right? It's doing their job. So if you are a developer, let's say we use Naughty Dog because they've been on PlayStation forever, right? So we use them as an example. They make games on the PS1, they make games on the PS2, 3, PS4 right now, right? So as you're a developer on the PS1 and they tell you, hey, make this game on PS1, that's what you're going to do. Then when they tell you, hey, make these games for PS2, make sure, whatever, the best it can be, got it. Yeah. That's your job. Yeah. You do the same thing for the PS3, you do the same thing for the PS4. Then the company comes back like, hey, we're adopting a strategy. Now we're going to include PC into this environment. You know, the money from PC is looking good. It's getting popular. We're getting good feedback. Hey, PC is now part of our strategy going forward into making these games. So guess what? Yeah. You're going to do your job. You're going to be like, all right, if that's what you want, fine. I'm going to make my games. I'm going to make my tools. And it's going to, so that way we can release these games properly on time on both PlayStation and PS5. Both on PS5 and PC. Now, whenever Sony decides they want that, cool. That's their decision. But I'm going to do my job based on what I'm told to do. If there was a time I'm told only worry about the console, then I'm only worried about the console. Now, if you tell me it's about console and PC, I know what to do. I'm an expert. I've been doing this for a while. I know what works best in this environment to get the games running. If we're going to do it on more than one platform.
I realize the thing that I don't like about your example, and I think that is the instructions in the first place. Because I don't believe that a Herman or even a Jim Ryan, will go to a Naughty Dog, whatever, the top tier studios, and say, hey, you know what? Treat this PC thing as if it was just as important as this PlayStation thing we've been doing for 20 years. I think they will say, hey, we are developing the thing. We're going to port it in 18 months, 2 years. That's our time frame for this game to go to PC. Work with these guys so that they know what the ins and outs of your software, but do not compromise on what you are trying to do. I think that will be the instruction.
So that's not, in fact, I could tell you these developers want to make games for PC. In fact, I remember when God of War first got announced, Fame 2K, you know, as a joke, he said, when's the PC version coming out? Cory Barlog replied to him. He said, I wish I could make this for PC, but I'm not a Kojima. That was a joke. I was like, damn, Kojima got pulled, bro, because he's pretty much saying, you know what I'm saying? So you probably make an assumption that these developers don't want to create that environment.
No.
They don't want to make... I'm not saying... Listen, what I'm saying is this. No matter how hard you want, if you're told that your game's going to be on multiple platforms, it's never going to be the same as the days when you only had to worry about one platform. You're going to adapt to the environment. You're going to adapt to the new way forward. You're going to adapt to what the company's direction.
Adapting to the new way doesn't mean necessarily that I need to compromise.
So, Kojima don't know how to make things, man.
But the thing is, how would you know? You wouldn't know if Sony didn't take full advantage of the PlayStation 5 console.
But you don't have to assume that they didn't either. Like,
I would, because the reason why I'm assuming is because
you're looking at other multi-platform.
I'm gonna tell you, a single platform environment will always be easier than a multi-platform environment. No one will ever convince me that it's the same.
But at the same time,
you can hire two different people to do different jobs.
Sony has been buying like studios for that purpose. So again, I think
if you came to me and said, "Hey, Emmanuel, listen, in Naughty Dog, they took a 10% or whatever percentage, even 1% of the studio, and they said, hey, you guys are the PC like transition people. Make sure this thing works on PC." Then you're right. Like, you're 100% right, and I withdraw all of my, I don't know, like, I withdraw all of my comments. But until it's still like a true kind of like studio job where Naughty Dog makes the game and then someone else ports it, I'm sorry, you can't just tell me that, hey, now Naughty Dog is going to be compromising. They can adapt, but why does that have to introduce compromise?
But they are not the
ones that are going to port it.
They are going to adapt. They're going to adapt as a multi-platform studio. That's who they are now.
They are not a multi-platform studio if they are not doing the port.
They're a multi-platform studio because they're going to consider PC as they're building these games. That's the efficient strategy to all this. That's why I don't understand why you guys think
this is a circular argument.
No, but what I'm saying,
I'm not gonna.
But what I don't understand, but what I don't understand,
neither of us have any proof.
But what I don't understand is, why do you think a studio that knows their games is gonna go to PC will still stick to the same? Oh, we only make games for console development.
I never said they only make games for console. I said they don't have to compromise on the console experience.
Listen, if you're a multi-platform developer, you are gonna compromise. It's a multi-platform environment.
They are not a multi-platform developer. They are making for one platform and someone else is porting it.
No. Is the game being... Did Sony say our game... Let me put it this way. I'll use... Let's say like Returnal. Let's say like Returnal, right? Because Returnal is confirmed PC port. When they made Returnal, do you think it was like in a vacuum? Like even saying going forward, do you think these developers are going to make these games in a vacuum where they're not worried about PC? Knowing the moves that's already been made.
Here's exactly what I'm gonna say, right? The creatives, they put their minds together, they eventually narrow down to a feature set, and they say, is this possible on PlayStation 5? Tick, yes. And then maybe they work in the partners, or maybe they just consider it themselves and they're like, hey, what is the PC spec that's going to be required to achieve the same feature set we just gave the check on the other side of the board? And I'm going to say, well, it's going to be a 1060. Okay, check, easy. Then another game, they might say, hey, it's going to be a 3080, and then they're like, oof, okay, cool. Now we have a decision to make. We can either go back, uncheck that box we just checked on the left side, right? And then change that feature set around until the minimum spec on PC is lower, or we can say, you know what, no compromises whatsoever. We'll worry about the PC thing later.
All right, okay?
Now, I'm not sure which way it will go, depending on who's developing it and what they're doing and what the target is for the game. Obviously, for live service games, with original that come in day and date, so both sides have to be checked, right? You can't just check one side and then ignore the other. But for single player games, I don't think that every single time they're gonna go back and change the PlayStation feature set. There are gonna be some games where they're like, hey, guess what? This PC thing is just gonna have to sit and wait until a large enough portion of the player base on PC can actually achieve this.
So I'm going to use your scenario. So we're going to use the scenario single player game. They got the PC feature, the PlayStation 5 feature set, and they realize, all right, the minimum spec for this is a 2080 Ti.
Sure.
Who makes the decision that says, fine, minimum spec is 2080 Ti?
We go one way or the other.
Is it the developer or the publisher? Who's going to make
It's going to be Sony,
but
whoever is in
developers
charge.
or publishers? It's two different
publisher,
groups.
Obviously.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and what do you think the publisher is going to choose? Money?
PlayStation, because that's more money.
Oh, shit, no.
Because that's more money. Because if I sell the consoles with this feature set, you just put on the left-hand side of the board.
No, I'm going to tell you why.
If I sell more consoles, I'm going to get way more money
but here's the thing. But here's the thing.
Again, I feel like you guys are getting stuck
listen. I'm going to use an example. If the publisher tells the developer, no, you're going to make a minimum of 1080 Ti, how are the gamers going to know that was the decision? Because they never release the version that would need a 2080. That's the point I'm trying to tell you. We won't know they made that decision.
Here's the thing, then.
We're gonna get the version that they decide. You see what I'm saying? We will never know.
What makes you think that they will go ahead and tell them, hey, you know what? I'm gonna walk in the room, right, and be like, hey, you know what? It's very nice what you have on the left-hand side. Wipe that and make it fit with the right-hand side of the thing, where that's the PC side. Like, what makes you think that that's what they would do? Because you are so like hell bent on believing, you know what? If push comes to shove, they are going to compromise the PlayStation 5. And yes, we won't know, but that's what they will do in the ring.
I'm gonna tell you why. I could tell you, make more money.
But they make less money.
No, they don't.
Because the thing is, the feature set on the PlayStation 5, if it's of a higher quality, will sell more console than a theoretical version that has a lower feature set.
Look how well...
And Sony's priority is to sell the console.
But look how well the PlayStation 5 is selling with a combination of cross-gen titles. No one gives a damn. No one cares. I'll use Gran Turismo as a perfect example. Gran Turismo is legitimately the only game Sony announced as a PS5 exclusive. That is the only one. When people say Miles Morales, that's not true. But Gran Turismo was legitimately, from Sony's own mouth, hey, this is a PS5 exclusive. They changed their minds and made it PS4, and nothing happened. The game still sold well. Nothing happened. No punishment. Nobody got pissed. Nothing.
Why was that?
Because they want more sales.
Yeah, to sell consoles, because consoles make them money. The difference is the PC isn't a console.
Did you hear what I just said? Did you hear what I just told you?
What you just said. The PlayStation 4 is another console.
But
Sony's priority is to sell consoles.
What consoles are they selling?
They're not trying to sell.
They're not selling PS4 consoles. They only sell like 100 consoles a month.
PS4 is because they're talking about the install base that people have PS4s.
I get that. But if GT7
you don't get that because every time you say something wrong,
stop saying I don't get that.
Every time you say something wrong, you say you get that.
They didn't say
something wrong.
Extreme. They did not put GT7.
You don't understand because you keep saying wrong statements and they say I understand. No, you don't. You just said the wrong statement.
Extreme. They did not put
GT7 sold on the PS4 so that they could sell more copies of the game, not so that they could sell more PS4.
Not to sell more PS4s. They did it to make more money.
Is that because it is still an ecosystem that they control, that is a different calculation than they would do for PC. Does that make sense?
No.
Okay.
Because it's irrelevant.
There's nothing I can say to you
because look at the facts we have. We already proved that the timelines of going to PC gotten shorter. we already proved that a game that was announced exclusively of PS5 because it's got to take advantage of all the configurations and hardware and all these trickety-ickety stuff. Well, they backed out and made a PS4 version, not to sell more PS4s, but to sell more copies of the game. We're presenting actual facts. And then when you look at
But at
the same time, okay, let's consider one scenario though.
Hey, all I gotta know, your PlayStation profile, it better be higher than mine. Your account better be higher than mine.
No, but I mean, here's the reality. The problem, the situation is Extreme. This is the thing. Extreme is blurring the lines of what a business decides and what we want. Do I want Sony to focus on these games?
I don't want you
of course, I want
this
that.
Podcast. Don't tell me I don't understand something, and don't tell me I'm speaking as a fan, because in neither scenario is that true. Okay, and Jay Barry, you can go and check that PlayStation profile anytime. Do it now. All right.
It better be higher than mine.
Listen, man, go check it.
From a developer and business thing, none of your points make sense. From a developer business,
it's in the Discord. Go ahead, do it.
I think we're ignoring a lot of the technical aspects because if we look at the PS3 gen, GT6 came out right at the beginning of the PS4 gen, and it did not come to the PS4.
GT5.
Why was that?
GT6.
Why was that? Because of the architecture difference.
What are you talking about?
Now
GT6. What? Hold up.
GT6. Yeah.
GT6.
When GT6 came out, the PS4 was already out, I believe, or it was like right at the beginning of like the PS4 gen.
Yeah.
And I think what had happened was with GT7 is that they were making it for PS5. And they were like, well, PS4 and PS5 have very similar architectures. x86 is a PC. So we can just like, sure, maybe we have to lower a few things. I do think that if they didn't have to port it to PS4, the game could have been maybe slightly better in some aspects that we don't know about. But because of the fact that they can port it easily to PS4, they were able to do that. On PS3, it was a completely different case. Like, it doesn't make any sense to release GT6 and then the PS4 is coming out and you don't have a PS4 version. And to me, I remember back then when that came out, I was like so baffled. I was like, why can't I just play this on PS4?
Yeah, but but that's not the first time they did that because God of War 2.
But that's my point. My point is that architecture was the main reason why they didn't do it for GT6. And I think what's happening here is that sure, like they have to consider PC from the get-go because at the end of the day, PS5 is still just a PC. Like I think the way I see it, the way I see
GT6 was PS3 game. It wasn't a PS4 game.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but like, also remember, God of War 2
released it at the beginning of the PS4 gen for the PS3.
Yeah.
But why wouldn't you release it for the PS4 also at the same time?
Well, but
it's because of architecture.
No, it's because that's what Sony does. Like, look at God of War 2. That's a PS2 game. The only reason why you were able to play it on the PS3 was because PS3 was backwards compatible. But that is but it's a PS2 game. It's not a PS3 game. No, what I'm saying is Sony always done that. They always release games even after. They've done that a couple of times where they release a game on the previous platform even though the new platform is already out.
No, but my point is I didn't release for the PS4 at all.
Well, PS2, but God of War 2 wasn't released for the PS3 either.
That's my point. Like, because it couldn't just be ported. Or at least not in a way that was financially feasible or in a timely manner. It was going to take too much money and too much time. So guess what? They only released it for the PS3 even though the PS4 was already out. That's my point. So here what's happening is that PS5 and PC, the lines are getting blurred, like very, very like blurred. Like it's essentially the same thing. We're no longer in the era where like consoles have very unique and distinct architecture to develop games. They're PCs. Like just think of PS5 as like in the scale of like PCs where like let's say a 960 is at the bottom and then a 3080 is at the top. The PS5 is just like a point in between that.
I agree.
That's all it is.
I know, but
and they're focusing the game development on that thing and then probably like just porting it to PC.
I agree your point. I completely agree your point. My point is this, and I don't know if it's getting clear. Sony transitioned from having first-party developers that only focus on one architecture, and that's all they had to do for the entire generation, to now, because they want to put games on PC, their developers are adopting, and they have to adopt a multi-platform strategy. It's what developers do when they're tasked to that. You understand?
Yeah, I mean, it's undeniable.
That's just a reality. Now the question.
Extreme, when did you start playing PlayStation games?
So now the question. So now the question is, how low? Like, what's the bar for the PC side? Because that's going to be the baseline for most of these games in the future.
In my opinion,
Barry,
I don't think they look at
Yeah,
GPU.
I checked the profile. That's
is it higher than yours?
Because when the game, because I'm gonna say this, because when I think
less of me now.
Listen, because when a game,
I'm not thinking less.
like for example, I'll use
your question was.
Oh shit! These guys talking trophies.
PlayStation 2 is when I started playing.
So here's my point. When they made a game for PlayStation 2, from a first party perspective, I know no other platform was involved from the moment they put a colored pencil on the paper to the day I got the game in my hands. That game was made for PlayStation 2, PlayStation 1, PlayStation 3, even PlayStation 4. I knew from the moment they're in the toilet and they're like, man, when David Jaffe was in the toilet, took a shit one day and he was like, man, what if I made a game based on Greek mythology? You know what? Let me work this. I knew from that moment he's in the bathroom to the day I played the game in my hand, that was a PlayStation 2 game from the moment he took a poop to the game that came out. Because that was the environment he was in, right?
I 100% agree.
Now,
but at the same time,
when PC's
included,
when PC's included now, the lines are blurred. And the closer the release dates are, the more you have to optimize game development to cater to these architectures. And that's the point I'm trying to make. I don't know if maybe this is a better way of saying it, but when like that's why I try to give the example of 18 months. If you know this game's going to come out in 18 months, and obviously you're going to be developing your game 3, 4, 5 years in development before releases, during that 3, 4, 5 year period, you're going to look into PC as well, so that way when your game is done, you know your partners in the same studios, they're going to be able to release the game in 18 months because you already know that's the task, that's the job. So you're going to optimize your work environments, you're going to optimize your tools, you're going to do everything to go from strictly PlayStation focused to, hey, let's optimize everything to cater to PlayStation and PC. So we can have this collaborative work environment so we can get these games out as best as possible. They're still going to make great games, but they're going to make great games as multi-platform developers. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't think anybody can realistically deny that at this point. My only point is that I don't think it's going to be a great impact as it would have been, say, on the PS3 or PS2 even, because now the architecture difference between PS5 and the PlayStation and the PC is so like minuscule that I don't think there's any real like significant compromise made, and at the same time they're also expanding. So they've made this clear in several like interviews that they're not. This is not like something where they're compromising, taking less of one thing to bring the PC. They're expanding. So we've seen this with the purchase of Nixies. Like that's not something they would have done if they stuck to PS5. So the fact that they're now doing PC stuff, you're absolutely right, Puerto Rock. Like they have to include teams that now focus on PC, and this is not something that happens after the game releases. It's something that happens as the game is being built. So 100%. But I don't think there's a compromise that's significant enough for like any gamer. Because one, they're expanding their teams, they're getting multiple support studios, Jetpack Interactive, Valkyrie Entertainment, all of them, in order to do this. So I think that those two things combined, the extra teams and also the similar architecture, is just gonna make it something where like I don't even think this is like a big issue that we have to really like consider, because it's just like we have a PC, which is a PS5, and then now we're just making it available for the wider PC audience, and we're like getting new people to work on that. So I feel like at the end of the day, we're gonna be fine.
All right, let me let's see. Shout out to Johnson. He said, "How many copies did Spider-Man on PC sell again?" I have no idea.
Exactly my point.
I didn't even look at. Yeah, but it doesn't matter. I mean.
Yeah. Okay. My question for you.
I feel like we're just like.
Hold on. Let me finish. Let me get these last. Let me get these last two super chats. Let me get these last two super chats. M's Odyssey. He says Extreme is right because of the ecosystem. Just like Apple, PS wants you on PS Plus, PS Now, PS Store, microtransactions, etc. PC doesn't lock you in the ecosystem. Then why are they gonna do live service games and all this shit on PC then? That's what I don't understand. You know, like that, and this is what Jay Barry is trying to say. Everybody's saying, "Oh, PC, PlayStation doesn't really care about PC." Then why are they like? I'll be honest. Over the last year, it seems like there's a lot more stuff talk about PlayStation PC than the console itself. You know what I'm saying? So, Jay Barry, am I right? Everybody's saying they don't care about PC, but yet we see everything about PC. Hell, Spider-Man now they're uploading right now. Correct me if I'm wrong. Spider-Man they're now trying to lock in PSN trophies.
Nah, they want you to link your PSN to the game.
I mean,
yeah,
we don't know what's to come from that, but
through Steam,
if you do that, you get stuff. Yeah, through Steam.
Yo, put them up. I have a question.
Like, listen, I don't think you guys realize these are. One more. I got one more. And Johnson said, King Thresh says you capping, P-Rock. Johnson, I want to just say this. All of this stuff is baby stuff. Remember, you can't build Rome in one day. Everything is a baby step. Like, you know, everything is a little step by step by step. You know, remember, go back to 2 years ago when the conversation was, at one point we said this was not going to happen at all. Like, at all. Like, oh, Sony will never. Even, and I said that. I said that too. I said that too, right? Then it moved down to, it's just going to be older games. Right?
I never had an issue with PC.
You understand what I'm saying? I'm not saying you had an issue, but what I'm saying is, look how the aperture, you know, the size of the window is just shrinking and shrinking and shrinking and shrinking. To me, Microsoft just shotgun blast. They just said, "Dow." That's it. One blast. They didn't play.
I mean, they had no choice. They
didn't. Like, Sony is taking a toothpick and they're like this. So Microsoft just said, "Man, blow. We got no games, but when we do get games, it's gonna be on PC day one. We're just gonna, you know, screw it. We're not." But Sony's like, nah. But you know, we're gonna try this. You know, we're just gonna see these old games. You know what? Let's try a couple of more. Hey, you know, these remakes. Yeah, we're gonna put on PC 3 months later.
I mean, Jim Bryan did admit to this. He said that.
Like, you know, let's try Returnal. You know, 12 months. Promise. No less than 12. Like, the window's going like this with every step. You understand?
It was only PS4 games too.
That was another one. Oh, it's only PS4 games, and we all bit into it. Yeah, you know, these PS4 games don't sell no more. Horizon Zero Dawn, man, that shit was $10. Hell, I even said that shit was free. Because remember they gave it. I was out there snorting that coke, right? Getting, you know. I remember I even said, yo, Horizon Zero Dawn was sold on PC 3 months later. They gave it away for free. Remember they gave it away for free to everybody? I think it was like everybody. Just simply have a free account on PlayStation.
To be fair, I do think at the beginning it was an experiment because Jim Bryan did say that. Jim Bryan did say that.
Yeah,
he said in an interview that at first they experimented with Horizon and they saw the react. He literally said this. They said the reaction was not so bad or like was good. He said it was good, and then that's why they moved on.
And that's why we know what he said.
And that's my point. What I'm trying to say, the aperture is shrinking more and more. Right? They just not doing it like Microsoft. Microsoft just came out with a shotgun, went to his fan base, bow, deal with it, and then you just walked away. And they say, "Yup."
Can I ask my question?
Go ahead.
So, what do you need to see? P-Rock from a game.
I don't need to see what? What happened? You could. Is it me? Did Z cutting out? What does that mean?
Despite going to be time in the future, is showing me that they are taking advantage of what Mark Cerny talked about with the PlayStation 5.
Can you say that again? Because I don't know if it was messing up. Maybe it was me. He sounded like a robot.
Yeah, sorry.
He sounded like a robot.
It was him? Okay, yeah, you sounded like a robot.
Apologies.
Can you say it again?
My internet here is amazing. What I wanted to ask was, what do you need to see from a game that is going to show you that the PlayStation 5 feature set is still a priority?
In my opinion, the only thing the only thing we're gonna see is just like great. I mean, Sony obviously storytelling is still gonna be story.
No. What do you need to see?
What I wanted to see. Let's say, I'm like me personally. is what Mark Cerny said. That because of the PS5 and how they designed it, not just with the SSD, but with the accelerators and all this shit in that boring ass 40-minute presentation, he said they're going to be able to design games in ways that they were not able to do in over 20 years of gaming.
Sure.
So I expect
what does that need to look like for you?
I could say this. I don't know what that looks like, but I know what it shouldn't look like. It shouldn't look like the map designs and the shit I already played. So whatever that means, when I look at it, I'll be like, wow, I never played this shit before. Because I never played, because again, I played on the Super NES, NES, Atari, PS1, 2, 3, 4, OG Xbox, 360. I played it on all. So whatever Mark Cerny advertised, whatever Mark Cerny advertised with this game design, it shouldn't be comparative to what I already played. It should be something unique,
on a scale
different.
of 0 to 10,
I don't fucking know.
Right, 0 being like it completely doesn't show me anything of this. To 10 being it has realized what Mark Cerny talked about. Yeah. Right. How close did Rift Apart get from 0 to 10? Because I don't think it was all the way there. But what do you think?
Rift Apart, I think what Rift Apart did.
Well, more examples of Rift Apart.
I get that. No, but
how close do you think that got?
No, so what I think Rift Apart did, the only thing that Rift Apart did because of the SSD was just instant load areas. So like when you look at Rift Apart and Ratchet & Clank, essentially the same game, except they were able to instantly load areas. And to me, that's just the SSD.
Okay, so how close is that?
And listen, PC's gonna do that too because PC's got SSDs as well and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, no.
You know what I'm saying?
Answer my question. How close?
To me, I give that a 2. If one, I give that a 2, and I don't give that much. Like it's great, it's nice, but that's just more of loading the area faster instantly. That's not. But when let me put it this way. Let me put it this way. Yeah. You can put Rift Apart on PS4. The only thing is you're just gonna have shitty load times. You're just gonna have to wait, and then you play the level, wait. Play the level.
I don't agree with that.
But when you look at the level design of Rift Apart, don't you see that there is a huge difference between how some of those levels at least were designed compared to before?
I said, I give it a 2 or 3. I say it's an advancement, but it's like, man, this is really cool. But I don't think it's as big.
I'm not talking about the instant load.
And like Returnal. Returnal could be on PlayStation. The only thing is you just have to wait like 2 minutes to load the board again.
No, I don't agree. I don't agree with that. I don't think Rift Apart can be done on PS4. You have to scale that game completely differently to make that game on PS4 because the whole mechanics on the Rift, I don't see that being possible done on PS4.
Yeah, the CPU
loading 2 worlds like that, you're not doing that on the PS4. Absolutely not.
Yeah,
It's like playing Spider-Man Miles Morales on PS4 that you play on PS5. You know, there's scenes where he's escaping out like a hideout, and you just instantly go back into the city. The PS4, you didn't have that. It was like a whole loading screen, and they gave it the whole time where he's reading the magazine and all that before you can get out.
Well, yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That's more like loading stuff.
Yeah, that's what.
Yeah, but that changes the whole dynamic of like the game, in my opinion.
Another thing that PS5 games have improved is the size. I mean, the compression and the way the SSD doesn't have to use duplicate acids in order to, because it can just load that one acid every time it needs it. On PS4, they needed to copy the same acid like up to 100 times, so that way, for different scenes and parts of the games, it can reach the acid faster than having to read through it and like pop in like seconds later. So that's another thing. Like I'm sure you guys have seen the smaller file size on PS5, despite being the higher quality game than on PS4. That's like also another improvement that it has brought development for PS5.
Hey, P-Rock, you played Rift Apart, yes?
Yeah.
Do you remember that part where you have that beetle that you can use as a vehicle, basically?
Yeah,
level to me, the water field level, whatever. Mm-hmm. That level to me is a level that was never done before in a Ratchet & Clank game. The amount of flexibility you actually had, not during the mission, but when you could go back and explore the world, the way it was open, that to me is the map design that you're talking about, not just the instantaneous loading. So for me, I give Rift Apart like a 3.
Which world is this?
The world where you can like, I don't know, there's like these beetles you can jump on.
Yeah, they get that in order to cross the water.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like normally that would be a lot more sectioned off in a Ratchet & Clank game because I've played almost every single one. So for me, that was an example of the map design changing because of the SSD, not just the instant load into the level. Because I think so far we have seen better examples of fast loading than we have seen of different level design altogether.
Yeah, but
right?
I'm not trying to stand because that level, granted, maybe it might be new to a Ratchet and Clank game, but it's not really new to gaming. It would be like saying
no, it isn't.
It would be like saying Halo's open world map is new to gaming. Like, no, it might be new to Halo, but it's not new to gaming.
Yeah, no, but the difference is the level of detail in that map because, like Assassin's Creed has done that for a long time, right? Big open world, but never to the same level of detail. So the point was that they were able to preserve the Ratchet and Clank level of detail through the map and make it open. Whereas before, I feel that if it was on PlayStation 4, they would have to compromise by adding more rocks and things to obscure the view.
PlayStation 4 not doing Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart because let's look at the city. The first city that you get into with all the rifts and all that stuff, it's not loading that. It's not going to be as seamless as that. You're gonna, like I said, you're gonna have to cut down on density.
That's what I'm saying. That Rift Apart is a great example of what is to come. I don't think.
But the argument is with P Rock is saying is that, I don't agree with that it could run on PS4, but I'm saying that we want to see more of that.
No, I agree with you, generational on that.
Stuff.
That's what I'm saying though. That PC, as far as PC is concerned, I don't think that when they come up to the next Ratchet and Clank and they're like, hey guys, let's expand on these ideas, let's really change the map design, let's push at these boundaries, and then Herman Hulst is gonna walk in and be like, hey man, like we can't do the same on PC. Yeah, add more rocks, add more things. Let's just make sure that this works across both. I just don't think that's going to be possible. I think they're going to find other ways to make it work on PC. Like the gentleman earlier was saying, you can load into RAM instead of working from an SSD. You can go into VRAM, or you have other options on PC that could be used to achieve the same effect. So
my whole thing is that you lose the essence of the console when you can have another platform doing what your selling point is you're trying to sell a console for. That's like when I mentioned the DualSense now fully supports on PC. I have the same features that I can do on the PC. That loses a selling point for the console, in my personal opinion.
Jay Barry, you're right.
I have a question.
That wasn't the argument
for Jay Barry and Puerto Rock, because I've heard this topic before. Would you guys say that, like, if let's say that definitively every game is 1 year coming to PC after PS5, would you guys consider dropping the console for that, or is this a case where like you guys just prefer playing on console?
No,
like,
I'm not. What's
the tipping point?
For me, day and date. I'm not waiting a year because even if it's whatever, like if there's a game I want to play, I don't want to wait a year to play a game. I don't really care.
I'm not waiting no year either. Like,
I
love PlayStation. I like gaming on the console. But
you'll be lucky. You'll be lucky if I can wait a month, let alone a year. I can't wait a year. Like even if I own PC, let's say because I'm gonna get a PC, and let's say Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out, I'm gonna play Grand Theft Auto 6 the day it comes out. I'm not gonna wait. Well, I got a better PC. I'm gonna just wait. Hell no, I'll play the console version. I'm not gonna wait a year for a game I really want to play. Like hell no, I can't. I'm too impatient.
Fair enough. Yeah. I was just curious.
Day and date though. At that point.
Oh yeah, day and date.
I'm sorry.
You know what I mean?
It is what it is.
Like PlayStation. Like when they come to the live service stuff, I'm not gonna buy or play their games on PlayStation. If they going day and date on PC, where I don't need like stuff like I've been telling people for the longest, I see what PlayStation is doing, especially that they go on multi-platform.
Yeah,
they incentivizing they're incentivizing things like PlayStation Stars to keep you within that ecosystem because you get rewards by buying and playing games, or you get a whole catalog of games you can play. That's a good benefit. That's a good value. And what they want to use or what they want to say is that, you're not just subscribing to PlayStation Plus just for online multiplayer.
They're gonna tell
you know what I mean? Because look at all the benefits that you get with having all this stuff here. But at the end of the day is that there's going to be a lot of people that, regardless of the value that PlayStation Plus can offer, majority of people that comes into that service is buying that service because of what? To play online. You know what I mean? And now that you're going to have your own games that you create on a different platform that doesn't require that same that same cost to play online, a lot of people would jump for that, and I'm one of those people. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I love PlayStation Plus. I think it's a great value, but the main reason why I'm on is playing online. And PlayStation, I love PlayStation games. If they're gonna put this shit on PC, day and date, live service, multiplayer, why would I buy it if it does cost, or why would I play it on PlayStation? You know what I mean?
That's fair enough.
Let me do a super chat. Shout out to M's Odyssey. He says, real-time rendering, advanced AI, physics only PS5.
I feel like a lot of that is marketing.
I don't know, because like I'm pretty sure 3080 and i7 will outclass a PS5. Granted, it costs more. Got it. We understand the whole price thing.
PS5 is only equivalent to a 2070.
Yeah, so like a 2070.
It's already outclassed.
Yeah, so PC's already, and then let's not get into the 4090 stuff. Like that's ridiculous.
490 is just overkill.
That's just
overkill. So Barry, that whole argument you mentioned about like them like putting things that were previously only a PlayStation console like thing. You saying like it's in a way devaluing the console?
Yeah, I feel them going how they're going. Listen, this is not a big like crazy like con for me. You know what I mean? It's just a point that I'm bringing up where I can see people migrating on over, because PC gaming is just growing and growing and growing. You see more people building rigs and all that stuff by the wayside every week. All I'm saying is that, yeah, the console itself gets devalued when you're putting every feature, and possibly, games will come there whenever they come there. It will devalue, because there's going to be people that's going to be like, they're not like me or P-Rock. They can wait the year. They don't want to go and buy a console anyway. They have their PC. You know what I mean? They're going to wait the year, wait for the game is cheaper, and wait for all the features that's going to be much better on this PC that they already have. There's many people like that right now in gaming. I don't think it's going to hurt PlayStation. I think it actually benefits PlayStation, to be honest with you, because the games that's selling on PC for right now are games that's not selling on PlayStation anymore like that, and it's lucrative for them. Like a game like God of War or Horizon or Spider-Man is selling that much, regardless if it's from 500K to $1 million. That still does extra money to them. But eventually, when what Herman Host is saying, at least a year, day and date with their live service games, eventually that stuff is going to caught up, where it's like people's going to be like, why do I have a PlayStation? You know what I mean? I can wait the year. I wait for the sale. I'm not going to pay the $70 for your game when the game is going to come to the PC, the platform that I prefer and I play on. I play my games here. You know what I mean? I just wait for the game to come to 50 or 60 when it comes to PC, and I have all my features that I will want. You know what I mean? Eventually, that conversation is definitely going to come up, and we've seen it more and more and more and more, where the console itself is being devalued. But do PlayStation care per se? No, because they're still selling their game. But as a PlayStation fan, I always ask, like, how do we benefit from all these moves that PlayStation is doing? PlayStation, in my opinion, has not shown the benefits to the PlayStation core fan yet on all the benefits that we're receiving with all these moves. They've been talking about it, but they haven't shown it yet, in my opinion. That's my issue. That's my argument.
Yeah, I honestly, I think like that's a very like fair like concern to bring up.
They show you that, Jabari. I have a question. How would they show you that? What do you need to see? A PlayStation Showcase is going to be the thing that shows you that going to PC helped them create these games?
Yes, because all we've heard was Herman Host say, yeah, these moves that we're doing help benefit and help us invest more in games, but we're not seeing the games per se from first party. I'm talking about on a first party standpoint. You know what I mean? So yeah, when they do show the games and show what's coming in the pipeline 2023 and beyond, then I'll be like, okay, I can see the benefits here, because now I'm seeing all these dope ass games because all the extra money that you're making from these moves that you're doing.
So you don't just want to see games, you want to see more games than you think you would have seen otherwise.
Yeah, I want to see more games that I think I'll be seeing. I want to see what he's talking about.
Okay.
Everything that Jim Ryan...
What does PlayStation need to show you for you to be like, now I get it. Now I see why the move to PC benefits me as a PlayStation gamer?
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest. The answer to that is
how many games? Like what is it?
I mean,
I'm gonna say this. It's not.
I'm
gonna tell you, it's not. It's not. So, the move to PC benefits PC gamers because the games are coming to their platform that they own, that they prefer to play on. They can play on the performance levels they want. If they want to play at 200 frames per second, at 1080p, ultra level settings, they want to add mods. That's who benefits. Console gamers, we don't get no benefit. Because look at Xbox. Did Xbox gamers get any benefit doing the move to PC? No.
But they have terrible games.
None.
So.
I mean, besides the terrible games, the actual move to PC, because I remember this argument, I remember this conversation on the Xbox podcast back in 2017 when Microsoft was doing this. Every Xbox fan thought that this move to unify PC and console will result in console gamers getting more games because it's one code now. So in their mind, they're going to get everything PC got. But in reality, it's the opposite. PC's getting everything that they got, and they're barely getting anything that PC has. You understand what I'm saying? Yep. That's the reality. They barely got anything from the PC side. They're getting more stuff.
Did they really say that?
So So that was the fundamental idea. And that's how, and it's not their fault because Microsoft was alluding to that. Oh, it's one code. Easily. It's like, we did this port in 24 hours. Like, we built the game on PC, running on console, 24 hours. So in their mind, oh, shit. So now all these PC games are going to come on consoles because of one code. It's the same thing. That didn't happen. It didn't happen. What ended up happening was more console games from the first party started going on PC day one. That was the truth. So in my opinion, Jay Barry, core PlayStation console gamers are not going to get anything out of this deal. It's nothing. They really get nothing. You might as well ignore it. If you're a core PlayStation console gamer, just ignore the whole thing.
You want to know what else?
You're not going to get anything out of this. Now the PC gamers, you're going to get a lot of it. You're going to see more PlayStation first party games that you've never seen on PC before because it was primarily locked to the PlayStation ecosystem. You're going to see more and more of it. And then look at the mods they're doing on goddamn Spider-Man, bro. And I knew when this shit started, I said, watch the PC gamers be able to play that game with the Venom suit before the console gamers. And we were the ones that bought their console. We play PlayStation Plus subscription. We bought all this shit. And who's the one that's actually enjoying Spider-Man with the Venom suit? PC gamers.
But that's only if you care about playing Spider-Man with the Venom suit. Like,
you know how much we were crying for that suit?
Oh, yeah. A lot of people. I know I wanted that.
Nah, yeah. I think, he made a good point there.
And I mean, between the Sam Raimi suit, the Venom suit. In fact, the I will tell you specifically, the Venom suit hype got so big that Insomniac actually responded, and they said that, hey, we understand you want the Venom suit, but we treat the Venom, they had, and I'm paraphrasing, but they were saying that it is very unique, and we're going to treat that suit right. That's how we knew Venom was coming. Okay. We already knew, like, oh, shit, Venom's coming then.
So what if you get that in Spider-Man 2?
What? I mean, we're going to get Spider-Man 2 because Venom's in it. But the point,
what if you get this suit in the
We will, because Venom's still in it. But the point what I'm trying to say is, you got PlayStation gamers with Spider-Man, and you got PC gamers with Spider-Man, but PC gamers got the Venom suit. We don't.
No, but they're modded, right?
But that's the point. How come Sony won't give us the ability to mod? It's been done before on consoles.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
And you see where I'm going with. PC gamers day one. They got fucking SpongeBob. I mean, granted, it's ridiculous. But I'm saying if we ask for the Venom suit, we should get the Venom suit. I understand you want to do a whole story, but it's just a cosmetic. We want to fly around in the Venom suit. But we can't.
Hey, listen, man, that's your fight.
But PC gamers, guess what? They chilling in the Venom suit. You see what I'm saying? And that's why. And these are the those little things will add up. Just like
I agree with what you said when you said that as a PlayStation core gamer, the move to PC should just be ignored. Yeah. I don't believe that it's going to directly benefit us. Like if we see a showcase, let's say they do a showcase next week, and they're like, yes, 50 games, right? I don't believe that the move to PC added 9 games on top of the 41 they were going to have otherwise. So, yeah. I think it's just going to be like, we had 50 games, we just made more money. You know, that's basically what I think.
You better be careful because if they have a showcase, it might be a PC showcase showing what's coming to PC.
No, listen, I know they're going to have PC announcements there. I already told PlayStation.
What I found surprising was that they announced a PC port at a State of Play or
something. They kick off the show with The Last of Us 2 PC version.
I remember when they did the Spider-Man PC port announcement, I told PlayStation.
Can I just say that was enjoyable to watch Jay Barry lose his mind over that?
Yo, Jay Barry, the next showcase.
Don't do it again. And look, the next showcase they didn't do it. They announced it after.
Yeah, Jay Barry, the showcase is gonna kick off with The Last of Us 2 PC version.
You know what I mean? Hey,
before the PS5 version.
That's it.
The showcase only gonna showcase games running on PC.
And they don't even provide a.
At the end of the day, like people say I'm fear mongering and all that stuff, but I'm not even upset about the whole PC.
I believe you are.
It's not fear mongering.
I think
I'm not even upset.
Yeah, it's not fear mongering.
Not about the PC thing.
I mean, it is what it is.
All I'm saying is that as a core PlayStation gamer, I want to see the benefits of what's going on. You know what I mean? When I see something like, PlayStation acquired Square Enix, then I'll shut the fuck up. You're not even gonna hear nothing from me if I hear that announcement. But
okay, fair enough.
On some real shit, what I don't want to see is like the shit Xbox does, where like we see a game, world premiere, and it's just like something running on a PC. Like God damn it, that would be horrible.
Oh my God,
that would do it for me. I don't know, like,
or you know what pissed me off? If they're gonna have cross-play game, but if we can't turn that off, that's gonna piss me off.
Oh yeah, that's another shit.
If we are talking about things we don't want to see, I don't want to see a Halo Infinite, which is not a flagship product, and I said this a year ago, and that's what I'm gonna say about that.
Oh, they're not gonna do that. I could say Sony has pride in showing a good show in the game. I could tell you, regardless of PC or not, if the game's not ready to be shown, they're not gonna show it. They're gonna be like, yeah. That's probably why we ain't got a show, because right now probably the games they probably feel it ain't ready to be viewed in publicly, so you guys ain't gonna get a show.
Would you do a showcase before Ragnarok or after it, though? If you were,
it would be. But the thing, I mean,
I'll do a showcase before Ragnarok because you can use that showcase to promote.
Yeah,
Ragnarok.
You could promote Ragnarok. I mean, because I don't think a showcase will interfere with Ragnarok. It won't take away, especially if you show one more last clip of Ragnarok to really get people going.
But
the last showcase that they had millions of views in this, but it hit like 1 million views in like 24 hours or less than 24 hours.
That shit gets
and it's right now it's like at 7-8 million views or whatnot. That's gonna just be more.
That shit gets people going. But I think the case is, and I know this was supposed to be a topic, but this shit's already like 9 o'clock, and I know it's late for you, Barry. But last super chat.
We're gonna do
our outros, man. Magic Spider-Man 2 has multiplayer PC. I would like to see co-op so we can have Miles Morales and Spider-Man. Because me and Jay Barry, I'm Miles Morales. He's half Puerto Rican, so I get dibs.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind a co-op mode.
Yeah,
co-op mode.
Haven't they alluded to that via job listings, like with Marble Project or something at Insomniac?
What?
Like I could have sworn I seen something like that.
I don't know. That would be cool.
Multiplayer like job listings for Insomniac Marble Project.
I don't know.
I don't know if I'm tweaking or like, but I could have sworn I heard that.
Resistance is coming back. I don't know.
Yo, Insomniac said that they're making their own Marvel universe, so expect more games. Marvel games.
Wolverine.
Jay Barry, I have a question.
All right, last question.
Last question.
Because Jay Barry got a booty call.
PlayStation doesn't have a showcase this year at all, whatsoever. Last show was your last show. What do you think?
I'll be disappointed. I wouldn't be like upset because I think the last showcase is good from a third party standpoint, but I feel like on a first party standpoint, all PlayStation is doing is talking. We heard all the interviews already that you're making 25 games. We heard all the interviews already that you're making 12 live service games. There's going to be some point that you're going to have to showcase what you've been saying for 2 years now.
No.
You know what I mean? So
what if that is March next year?
I mean, it is what it is. I would say this.
I mean, it is what it is. But not having like a showcase at the end of the year, in my opinion, that would be a huge L. Yeah. I wouldn't be upset, but I'll be very disappointed. Like, damn,
I would
you
say
know what I mean? Like, what's the future of PlayStation 5?
I would say that's an L, but PlayStation's bringing games because you got Crisis Core, God of War in November, Forspoken's coming out in January.
Yeah, I mean, that's a third
I at
party
least got some dubs through games, and at the end of the day, that's what matters most, right? But if they don't have a show this year, then they better have a big show next year because there's a lot of content we got to know about. Like, what are you guys doing over the next 2-3 years? What, like you said, they made a lot of news announcements: Deviation Games, Haven Studios, 12 live service games. You understand what I'm saying?
I'm just concerned. Like, well, I don't know if concern is too much, but like, where is the God of War Ragnarok state of play? Like the focus state of play for God of War. Like I'm pretty sure they've done that for every first party, like especially the big ones. For every first party game, where
so it's gold.
Month.
I think they're trying to not reveal too much, because they did show a decent amount, and I think the last state of play they showed some God of War, but I'm not sure if they want a focused one, because I think now, I guess they don't want to show too much, because at a certain point you don't want to show too much.
That'll be a first.
You know, I know. I think so. I don't know. I mean,
they did one with Last of Us Part 2, and that got leaked out crazy before.
So I don't know. I don't know if Sony's clamping down on their stories. I know, because they did get hit hard on their shit. I mean, The Last of Us got hit twice.
My thing, P-Rock, my thing is that from a third party and like second party perspective, I think PlayStation is doing an amazing job.
Yeah, they ain't
announcing what their first party or their partnership games, what they coming to the console. Yeah, well, on a first party standpoint, we don't know shit.
But I'm thinking the reason why they're doing all this second, third party, because now they're probably, I guess the stuff first party wise is not ready to be shown. It's like we're kind of like, how would you put it? We kind of like, I don't want to say screwing ourselves, but what I'm saying is, we demand that these guys don't present their games in a shitty fashion, but at the same time we're pissed that they haven't shown us stuff. So I think that we want them, when they show us these games, they better look good the first time. Don't show like what Microsoft did with Halo Infinite back in 2020. So I think Sony's like, you know what? You're right. We're gonna show you the games the way they're supposed to look, good, crisp, the first time. But the consequence of that move is gonna take longer for us to show it to you. Because
I agree.
And so I think it's kind of like you could say the effect of us wanting a quality showing and these games showing quality when they present it to us, but it's going to come at the cost of, okay, we're going to need more time though to really get this going, because we're not going to show you something and then you get mad at us that the game looks like trash. So,
and I mean, even if they had like 2 or 3 games that were amazing, people would be like, nah, I want 16, I want 17.
Oh yeah, but that's always that's always going to be like that. Or they'll name a game that they knew they never announced. Oh, they didn't do Soul Reaver, trash. Like, wait, what? Who said they were gonna do Soul Reaver?
People will never be satisfied. Yeah. I just want a roadmap as far as what's to come for PS5 when it comes to first party.
Yeah. Do I have a wish list? Yes, but I'm not gonna hold any company based off a wish list. I'm not gonna be like, man, no Metal Gear Solid 1 remake, this show is trash. Like, I'm not gonna do that.
Sword, man.
They didn't promise me that.
Please port Bloodborne to PS5, please.
I mean, what happened? I mean, I just don't know why they don't do it. I don't know. You know why?
I think I know.
I'm gonna do my outro.
They're just fucking with us.
You call it. Yeah. Hey, I just gotta let you know my Yankees won, so I'm in a good mood. Yo, Jay Barry, do your outros, man. Let them know about your #1 PlayStation podcast out there on YouTube.
Oh no, man. This was a great conversation. Big shout out to everyone that came through. I think the chat was a little sensitive today, but you know what I mean?
No, we just have our concerns. We passionate. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, we not the RDP. Alright? We 60 frames, no lag.
We not trying to make you feel good every goddamn podcast. Sometimes we gotta have some real talk out here.
Speak from the heart.
Yes, sir. But nah, man, this Saturday, What's Up PlayStation Podcast, 11 a.m. Eastern Time, episode 102. It looks like it's going to be a slow week, but, we're going to make it entertaining.
Now we're going to talk about PC again. I'm going to go on the show and hop on. I'm going to talk about PC shit.
When you going to have Jim Ryan on the podcast, man?
Oh, shit.
I don't know how y'all do it.
He ain't coming.
Right now, we trying to get Herman Hulse on here.
He don't want the smoke.
And we'll aim for Jim Ryan too, man. We'll get him one of these days.
Oh, my God. If you land those
two. Hopefully. That'd be some interesting
shit. If you land Jim Ryan.
I'm going to talk to Sean and pull some strings real quick.
If you land Jim Ryan, you have no idea. You will have the entire Twitter community.
You have 1 million subs.
You have like 10,000 people like your chat will be unreadable because it would just.
We'll be on camera when Jim Ryan is on the show for sure.
The fact that Jim Ryan is so controversial will pull numbers.
He doesn't even have a Twitter. He doesn't even have a Twitter.
Listen, I like Jim Ryan.
Jim Ryan doesn't
a lot
have
of people
Twitter.
hate on Jim Ryan. I think Jim Ryan is great for PlayStation. There's some questionable things that he's doing. Yeah. Sure, there's some questionable things that he does, but when it comes to the overall effectiveness of PlayStation or productivity, I think he's doing a great job.
I'm gonna be honest. I ain't gonna lie. From a first party point, I think they did overall great job for the first 2 years. Because most of my memories from PlayStation the first 2 years is primarily third party. Especially the PlayStation 2. It was almost all third party. I mean, it was great, but it was like Devil May Cry, Grand Theft Auto, Red Factions, Metal Gear Solid 2, Final Fantasy X. I think the only first party I remember from launch in the first year was Twisted Metal. Gran Turismo, I didn't play, so obviously I avoided that. And I think maybe they had MLB The Show and NBA. But like most of the big shit has been third party. But from a first party, first 2 years, PlayStation 5's like, yo, this console's been doing the Lord's work. I'm like, great. Yo, I ain't gonna lie. And my favorite game so far has been Returnal. Like, bro, I love that guy.
Amazing.
Mine
amazing.
I love it. I just loved it. It gave me that old school feel of you know.
I'm still like thinking if I should plan on that game, but I loved it.
Okay, I didn't plan on like because
it took me 4 months just to find the last cipher in that game.
Yeah, that's why cipher.
Not to brag or anything, but your boy platinum that game.
Of course,
like
but you the platinum king. You're the platinum king. Man, you know, best list and the best platinums.
You got better luck than me, man.
Yeah.
I did level 2 at least 70 times before I got the last cipher.
Yeah, when I heard about the cipher,
it's all in the research, man.
When I heard about the cipher, I was like, yeah, I ain't doing that. I ain't got the patience for that trash. All right, but hey,
yo, there's a thing in Returnal where your knowledge increase the more you read certain things.
Yeah.
And like if you watch that bar, the better you get, the better RNG roll as far as.
No. I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about like the ciphers. I did everything.
Yeah, the ciphers.
I did literally everything else you could possibly do in the game. Then I spent 4 months trying to find this last one.
I'm not doing that. Nah.
So I got unlucky. Like I'm glad.
Hell nah. I was stressed the hell out. So we got newcomer Extreme from Australia, from down under.
Listen, first of all, thank you for having me. You can just call me Emmanuel. That's my name.
Emmanuel.
Secondly, please watch What's Up PlayStation. They are the only great podcast here that got Sean Layden on twice, which is unbelievable. That's crazy. Congratulations on that.
He's the only one that trusts. He trusts y'all. That's good shit, man.
Man, listen, that was amazing to see, and both times it was great to see Black brothers getting what no one else was able to get. Like that's incredible. So definitely follow
Cam's coming soon. Cam's coming soon, guys. Don't worry.
There we go. That's the only thing you'll hear from me.
Get Jim Lion Ryan up in there. He needs to answer. No, I'm just kidding. I'm playing.
Yo, y'all gonna hate me if Jim Ryan come on there, cause like I said, I like Jim Ryan. Y'all gonna want the.
But the truth
Jim
is,
Ryan, you said believe in generation. I'm gonna be like mad happy to touch.
But you can't, you can't tar and feather the dude either, cause he's never gonna come on the show. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna butter him up, man. I'm gonna offer him a $70 PSN. You can't do
ambush journalism and thrash the guy. Like he's gonna be like, what the hell is this, Maury Povich?
That's one thing when it comes to like these higher execs. You're not doing no ambush journalism. You're gonna be prepped before you actually talk to them.
Don't get me up in there.
That's what he likes.
I'll be off script. I'm gonna be like Maury Povich. I beg Jim Ryan, you are not the father. The hell is going on here? I'm just playing. All right, Mr. Clutch.
Nah, man, I just wanted to come here and chat. I was listening to the podcast as I was making dinner.
Yeah.
I was just chilling there, and I just heard this. I said, nah, hold up. I have to
this shit
get on this joint real quick if I can. But not yet. That's all I wanted to say. I just enjoyed talking with you guys. You guys are cool. And like, honestly, the topics, they just be going crazy, man. So... just glad to be part of it.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Hey, so all right, so you heard the outros, man. These guys were up in there. Listen, PlayStation Nation, man. Listen, we love the brand, right? But we can't. Let me show you something. We can't be looking like this, all right? Let me see if I got the picture. I'm gonna tell you right now. Oh man, we were supposed to talk about this, but we not. I'll save it for another day. But we can't be out here looking like this. All right, I'm gonna give you 5 seconds because I know there's like a 5-second lag. But this is not us right here. Y'all see this?
P-Rock.
Y'all see this?
I promise you.
Listen, I listen. I will burn PlayStation down to the ground before you catch me doing some shit like this. I will be. I will strictly right? Listen. I will strictly play on iPhone and phone games before I catch. And if any of y'all are like this, I don't know you, dog. Like, woo, I don't know you, dog.
For a second, I thought you were doing the X, like the.
No, We not doing that.
Stuff,
we not
but this is worse.
You know what I'm saying? Listen,
you know where that was taken, right?
We not what is it? FanFest?
That was in Brazil.
The
country where they hyping up because they got approved over there. Yeah, where Xbox have a manufacturing company. A lot of paid stuff. The craziest Xbox fans, as we know, comes from Brazil. Remember them crazy dudes?
I got it. Listen,
that's the dude right there that was kissing the whole Xbox.
I'm gonna just say this, Nathan. Right? Don't take my criticisms as you're trying to root for Xbox. No, what I'm making sure is I don't look like that though. We not like this. All right, we not like this. We could love the brand, we can enjoy the brand, we could keep reviewing the brand, but we not this. Like this, I'll play an iPhone before you see me do this. Like I'll quit gaming. I'll just stop gaming. If they told me this is what I gotta do to keep gaming, I'd be like, man, fuck yeah. I'll just
like
play
solitaire, man.
I'll just play dominoes. I'll just be on the corner like how my dad was and shit. Just play dominoes on the corner and shit like that.
Don't me know.
You know what I'm saying? That's how. Yeah, nah, son. We can't be like this. So anyway, this is your boy Porter77. Great podcast for the 5 new members. Thank you for joining the family and stuff like that. I'm working on improving the channel, getting glorious. I'm about to steal an idea from the Whoops podcast. You know what I'm saying? I kind of like your idea about members doing questions for a show.
Oh yeah. Man, I mean, we stole that idea from other people.
But that's how we do. We PlayStation. We copy other people's ideas, and we take that shit. That's how we roll in PlayStation. We copy.
I think Luca does that with her podcast. He's like, hey, we should go.
Oh shit! Then we passing that shit down. We paying it forward.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We stealing these ideas, so I like
go
that
ahead,
idea.
Brother.
We stealing these ideas. So stand by for that. I will push the word out on that. I'm like, this is hot. I'm taking this shit. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna let y'all know. I'm gonna admit it. I'm gonna be like, hey, I got it from Whoops. Apparently, Whoops got it from Luca. Who knows where Luca got it from? But we stealing shit around here. We copying. That's how we roll. But anyway, thank you so much for rocking out. I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you for the likes, the new subscription members. I truly appreciate it. But if you haven't pressed the like button, go press it now on your way out. I'll see you guys next week. You guys take care. To the 2 guests, Clutch, Emmanuel, hey, thank you for stopping by with your thoughts. It's all love. We all love PlayStation. We chilling with gamers. We're passionate. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm pretty sure we can all agree on one thing. Where that Legend Dragoon remake at? I'm just saying.
Facts though.
Never played it.
That's facts though. You never played it?
I could play it.
Oh, you could what?
I said I could play it. If they make a remake, I'll jump in.
Look at that. See? Boom. See? You got at least one sale. There you go.
Game right there.
That's what I'm talking about. Hey, you guys have a take care. Good night. Go Yankees. All right, and then that is it. This episode.